Good evening, one and all. It's Friday, it's the end of the working week, and today we are jumping back into Galenor because it is a RuneScape day. Welcome everyone, hope you're doing well where you are around the world. I've just realised now that I didn't double check what time is the bot is running today. Let me make sure. Let's turn that one off. There we go. Good. That one's just in the way. We don't need the IGM one right now. So it's very simple today. Today is actually the second day of membership on this account. After getting other bits and pieces sorted, I have purchased membership and done a little bit of skilling and a little bit of questing. So we've already got some member skills actually kicking up into, well, the beginnings of numbers that matter. Like construction at 21, thieving at 16, herbal at 15. Very, very basic starts. So I need to get those higher. That is the idea. Last time it was questing, this time it's skilling, but with a random twist. You see throughout the stream, if at any point anyone hits the channel point redemption to randomize a skill, if anyone subscribes by any means whatsoever, or if anyone were to tip the stream with £2 or more, I will bring out the spinner immediately and do a reroll onto a different skill. We'll never accept it being the same skill. If it rerolls, it has to reroll something different. Every single time. You have control over that. So, without further ado on that there, let's grab the spinner I created earlier. And let me see if I can just get that up onto the screen here, because I have not clicked that button yet. That's what we're looking at. Let's do the first spin. We are starting with archaeology. Okay. Archaeology is where we're starting. Also, pink in the background and the request is on. There we are then. So for those of you unfamiliar with the archaeology skill in RuneScape, it is, I believe, the second most recent skill added to the game. It is a gathering focus skill based on, well, as archaeology would be, discovering the past. So with that in mind, it's currently at level 20, which gives us access to some various areas. Where do I wish to go? I believe... Can I limit this by dig size? Yes, I can. Good. Okay, so I could head on over to Infernal Source. A Secret Society's Descent Beneath the Wilderness. I'll be quite honest. I have never been there. Not on this account. I would need to take this account over to that location. My main account has been there, but that was a while ago now. My mind is drawing a blank as to where that location is. Luckily for us, when it comes to this... Oh. Ah yes, there is a pin. I've been signed out long enough that it's asking for my pin again. One moment. Will be that number, that number, that number, and that number. There we go. As I was saying, one useful thing is that the Archaeology Journal can teleport us over to the Archaeology Guild, I suppose, or at least certainly the starting location, and then there is a map because it can send you on over to the other locations of interest. I'll also want to bring along my soil box, there we go, and I think that's all I technically need, but I'm also going to bring my explorer's ring, because that may come in handy to me. But I think that's all I should need right now.
Just showed up to say hi. Please showcase off the archaeology stuff before rerolling, please, if there is no cooldown on the sub randomize.
Quintus, you know you can just put that in a message and then hit the resub. The rolls. Quintus, thank you very much for the tier 3 sub at 50 mums. Absolutely enormous there. Much appreciated. Indeed. Showcase off the archaeology stuff before re-rolling. I mean, how much do I showcase before we hit the re-roll? Because the rules are immediately. I stated that just moments ago, and now you're hitting me with that. Oof. We'll teleport over to the location where you start archaeology. I will call out the little bits there, but then it's a re-roll. Alright. You showed up after rules explanation? Bruh. You did not show up after rules explanation because the rules are also on the Discord. On the announcement post. You didn't show up after it. It says that every sub will immediately randomize whatever skill. Come on. You can't pull that one on me. You just couldn't read. There's the truth. There's the truth. We'll take the truth. So, yeah. I would have gone to this dig site map here. And I would have teleported over to Infernal Source to go have a look at what's over there. We may yet do that later into the stream. But right now, I'll just show the very basic of this wonderful, wonderful area. Surrounding this mysterious monolith is the starting area for such wonderful stuff. You would go to excavation spots, like this one right here. Excavate the Centurion remains, for example. Although, this is training area, I've got all I'm going to get from here. So you start with your excavating, you discover ancient artifacts, you discover materials, you restore the artifacts, you bring them to collectors, and you level up the skill as you uncover the mysteries of the past. And there are many mysterious paths in RuneScape. It has one hell of a depth to its ages. We're currently in the 6th age, although technically I'm treating this account as in the 5th age, because the game switched from the 5th age to 6th age through a very major quest, which kind of splits the middle of the timeline. What happens if someone gets more than one sub at once? A single roll bite, because all the other rolls that would have happened are immediately discarded because they get re-rolled. So it's just one roll. It's just the one. But if we have a pop into this here, we can see... there it is. I have a Venator dagger. I have no idea if there's Venata or Venator, but I'm going to go with Venator. A Venator dagger. This is in fact not a wieldable dagger, it is an ancient artifact, which I can bring to a collector and they'll be like, oh wow, that's real great. Here, have some currency. Whatever it is. I think they use Chronotes. I think so. But that is all of the archaeology we're going to look at right now, because Quintus very kindly has supported the channel, and that means we do a reroll. So let me get the screen back for that already. We're instead going to be looking at working towards unlocking invention. Now, I put invention on there because it is a member skill, but it's not one I can currently access. And so there are 3 requirements in place that I will need to go through to get onto that skill, and we can certainly walk towards that as well. So that is the plan on that one then. We're going to work towards invention. Invention is the skill of making, well, new devices, new gizmos to either augment what you currently have or to create brand new items. It is a medley of skills, bringing together, I believe, rune crafting, normal crafting, and divination. Actually, I'm going to mouse over and check. I'll say right here. Yeah, no. I was wrong. Not rune crafting. It's smithing, crafting, and divination. Why did I think rune crafting? Smithing, crafting, divination. This is, at this time, the only elite skill in RuneScape, requiring that you have level 80 and 3 other stats before you can even begin it. So, with that in mind, I do need to work towards that then. And let's... I've already got crafting 51, smithing 51, divination is a member skill at only 10, so you know what? Let's hit the divination up with that then. So we can dump those bits and pieces, we no longer need those, and instead it is a matter for divination. Divination, I have the level to do Flickering Wisps, which are located to the north of Falador, near the Guthix Memorial Site. Got it. That is the new plan. For that, I don't think there is any gear I have unlocked that is of any benefit to it whatsoever. So I'm just going to equip the wing. The wing? The ring. Oh dear, what was that? The ring. Similar to how Eve Invention works as a crafting skill? No. So Eve Invention is you take an item, a blueprint that exists, and you see if you can make it into a more advanced blueprint, which most of the time is a stat buff. Some of the times it actually gives you item changes. With RuneScape, it is a much more involved thing. So you'll disassemble items into their components. Those components are what you use to actually build these things, so it's a way to get rid of junk or low tier items, but also some high tier items. You develop gizmos, which can be attached to augmented weapons and gear. You can create divine charges to power them up. And you unlock a whole bunch of weird and wonderful things that go with it as well. A augmentable fishing rod, which can give you additional perks and weirdness to fishing. Same with Pyromatic for a tinderbox replacement, Hammertron for a smithing hammer replacement, augmented Matsurk, and so on and so forth. In fact, there are bits here that I don't even recognize. What is a pickpocketing bag? I don't even recognize that one. That must have been brought in after I, well, finished. But yeah. Hello, Brother Only. How's everybody looks today? I'm doing perfectly fine. Honestly, didn't feel it. Didn't feel it. Don't know about everyone else. Yeah, to give an example of some of the kind of features you can get with Invention. Invention, when augmented a weapon, can, for example, give it a improved ability to hit. You can give it a, I think there's a lifesteal perk. There's ability to make it chain attacks to nearby enemies. You can also, if you're low skill, roll negative effects. You have to watch out for that. And then, in terms of more unique items, there is one of my favorites, the Grace of the Elves, which is a necklace that does all kinds of weird and wonderful things. Oh, I just got an enriched memory for the first time. Nice. Weird and wonderful things. For example, it could take Signs of the Porter, shove them inside of it, and so as you gather materials, it teleports them straight to the bank. Very useful to have. Oh, I see what you mean there, Quintus. I see what you mean. In terms of there being more steps involved, yes. In terms of there being RNG involved, yes. So there are definitely similarities to Tech 2 and 3 Invention in that regard. Tech 3, I think, is a better comparison because there's the gathering of materials from obscure sources, combining it together to develop something far more advanced and potentially more versatile than what you're used to with just, say, normal smithing and crafting. So I would say, yeah, Tech 3 is probably the better comparison for what the Invention skill adds to RuneScape. But even then, we're not comparing apples to oranges here, we're comparing apples to bricks. And the best I can give you is the colour and the fact that they are solid. So, with Divination, we are gathering. This is a very 6th age skill. Where did that person come from? Okay. This is a very 6th age skill. This is something that happened after the results of the quest, The World Wakes, whereupon divine energy was now pouring out of these craters. These are wounds, effectively, in the land, if I understand correctly. And so divination is understanding how to channel that divine energy to then gather it and utilize it for our purposes, or to what's the word? Commute it? No. Commit it back to the land? There's a C word, and I'm not sure if I've got it there. Anyway, the further benefits of divination is that it allows you to create divine products of various types. For example, you can create, if we just have a look at the pale energy stuff I've unlocked, resource gathering locations. So a divine crayfish bubble is a divine bubble holding onto the concept of a crayfish. You and everyone near you can gather crayfish from it for a short period of time. That is daily locked because otherwise it would be absurd. Portent of Restoration heals you if your health gets low. It just automatically detects it. Sign of the Porter, send items to the bank as you gather them, covers a wide variety of items. And there's also Conversion. So this, for example, could turn some pale energy and wyvern bones into a broken memento. So you have creation and transmutation through divine energy. Which is an interesting skill. Otherwise, the basis of it for training is a gathering one. Similar to fishing or woodcutting or mining, you go to location where the thing you want is, and you gather it. And until someone forces otherwise, this is what we're doing. We are healing the wounds of the world and gathering divine energy in the process. When we gather from this, we gain 3 main things. The first is the energy itself, which is what I could use to then produce divine products. The second is the memories, so we can put those back into the energy rift. If it's a normal memory, it gives us a smaller amount of XP. Enriched gives us a bigger amount of XP. Or we can tell the rift to give us more energy instead of XP. And then the third thing is we'll occasionally see a Chronicle, which is a fleeting orange orb we can grab for yet more benefits. Also, please ignore the impling. As much as I really, really, really want to catch it, I don't have the hunter level on this account. That is something my main has done many a time. I have always enjoyed impling hunting. And I can't do it right now because I don't have the skill. So that's just sad. I'll have to miss out on that. I'm going to say, I have very little knowledge on RuneScape lore. Were clerics another thing prior to all this? Clerics as in holy persons that would dedicate themselves to a god in some way as an NPC? Sure. Priests and clerics and whatnot around the world. Whether it be druids supporting Gothics, the priests that support Saradomin, where you have the cultists who would be in support of Zamorak, those who are out in the desert camps might be in support of Zaros, the ancient dearly forgotten one. You have the elves and their supporters of Seren. But yeah, for channeling divinity, we had previously just prayer. So that was through the burial of bones and remains. By putting remains appropriately to rest, you become closer to divinity and therefore can have greater connection and greater prayers. But divination, it is more of a scholastic control of divine energy. So, oh, I just got 3 enriched in a row there. That was nice. So whilst prayer is asking the gods for their help, divination is using the energy that has come about from what happened during the world wakes and doing that yourself. The divine energy in the ground is different to god stuff. Yes and no and no and yes. So the stuff in the ground is also very related to the concept of anima, is my understanding, and I am going back a bit on trying to remember a lot of this. But it's connected with the world's anima. I don't want to give spoilers as to how this skill came about, because it's kind of a big bloody deal. The fact that this skill both exists and is trainable without having completed that particular quest is a bit of a timeline nightmare, but, well, with a game as long-lasting as RuneScape, you have to make these kinds of sacrifices. But suffice to say, it is to do with the gods, it is to do with more than the gods, it is to do with what happened during a very, very dramatic quest, a culmination of a whole bunch of storylines. It very literally advises you on which storylines that they're not required for the quest, but you probably want to do them so you know what else is going on. And a bunch of quests after that fact are marked as the 6th age. They say, look, you might not want to do these quests until you've done this one, because this marks the change of history to present in terms of where the game is at now. It was a big damn deal. So yeah, I hope that gives you a good rundown on that. Second Dream levels of spoiler territory? Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, I'd say that's a fair assessment. A combo of Second Dream and War Within. So, much like the aftermath of Second Dream and War Within, someone who's new will see things around the world which indicates some of what has happened or what is going to happen for them. But if they're not particularly looking for the answers, they won't come across it until they come across it. But very much anything 6th Age, if you don't want to be spoiled about the World Wakes and what the hell happened then, is very much a please don't Google this. If you're new and you don't want to be spoiled, 6th Age is a hasn't happened yet, don't think about it. If you want to train divination, cool, just understand some of the questions you're going to be asking about it are 6th Age. And again, that's where I'm going to leave it to be kind to those who simply just don't know. It was, I knew what was coming, unfortunately, when I went into it, because it was kind of hard at the time to not have it spoiled for me. I didn't get to the quest day 1, and news gets around. Ooh, level 12, we're getting there. This is an exceptionally passive skill to train, by the way, as many gathering skills are. But yeah, so I knew some of the major details of the outcome, but even then, there were still bits that I wasn't made aware of, and you just don't want to give it away. So, until and unless things change, we are training divination. That is the goal right now. Gather up this energy, gather up all the memories and turn it into even more energy, so that later down the line I will have a stockpile of energy ready to use, because I can't trade for it. I can't buy it from other players. If I want divine energy, I have to go get it myself. Are all the RuneScapes linked in terms of lore, or is it separate storyline each game? So, there are two main RuneScapes at this point in time to care about. There is Old School RuneScape, and there is RuneScape 3. Old School RuneScape, the lore connection it has to RuneScape 3 ended at the point that Old School RuneScape was created. So, everything up to what it was based on, I forget which year it was a branch of, but everything up to that point was the same. And then, think of it Eternalism, it goes a different way. It is on a different strand of Kra, or however it's determined in Warframe. So, the whole 6th Age stuff that happens in RuneScape 3 does not exist in Old School RuneScape, to my understanding. They have their own areas, they have their own bosses, they have their own timeline. They are very different. If I understand correctly, in fact, Old School is getting a skill that RuneScape's never had. I don't know if this is the first one or if there's multiple, but up and coming, I believe, is the sailing skill. Which, I'll be honest, of all the things, sailing doesn't really grab me in a world with this... Well, maybe I should just open the map. Like, it's a big old continent and not a lot of sailing room. And we already have boats that cover the areas, so like... I get a hint of tedium detected on that one. There. I'm not too fussed in finding out more. Maybe I'll be wrong, but... we'd see. They say OSRS is to RS3 as Drifter is to Operator. Not a terrible shout, actually. Not a terrible shout. Same immediate origins. Big ol' split for some eldritch reason. Best way of looking at it. And otherwise, their own sets of traumas to deal with. Yeah. Not too shabby. Also, exceedingly different looks despite being the same. You can't do this in OSRS. Just see out to the edge of Ice Mountain over there, the edge of Barbarian Village out that way. I can see the far side of the Falador Wall over that side. And that is the that's going to be the boundary between here and Tabberley as well. A pretty decent distance viewed from here. Hello, Crescendo. Hope you're doing well. Law sounds a lot of fun, but you only have space for one MMO older than you. Fair enough, you just had to bring up the age again, didn't you, Quintus? You just had to bring it up. Yes. It is no secret that my main RuneScape account is older than a significant portion of my viewership on Twitch and YouTube. This is just a fact. Ah, dear. It's fine. Do I really look 32? I hope I don't. Ooh, another level again. Let's have a look. What have I actually picked up in these few levels? So, I can now transmute oak logs by using some flickering energy in 3 logs to get 1 set of oak logs. Not really an important transmutation, I'll be quite honest, because oak logs are not hard to come by. So this is very much a kind of a bunk option. Divine Herring Bubble. Don't really have a desire to gather a whole bunch of herrings. That's, again, not a great one for me. Now, Divine Herb Patch. This can be beneficial to me because I can turn 5 Flickering Energy and 10 Clean Guam into a Divine Herb Patch and then gather from that. And that can give me herbs based on my farming level. Currently, that would only give me Guam back, but later levels, I'll be able to get Guam, Marantil, Taramin, Haralander, Ranar, Spiritweed, and Toadflax. And that's very nice. And then Divine Oak Tree, again, a gathering location of oak logs, but oak is really easy to come by. So yeah. Oh, you need glasses as well now, do you, Ellie? Yep. Turns out it comes for a lot of us, doesn't it? But hey, at least you got your test and you'll get sorted out on that. Hope you get yourself a nice comfortable pair, absolutely. But saying the only true MMO I've played is PSO2. PSO2. Plaque says it online? Yeah, I got nothing. Fantasy Star Online spelt with a P for fantasy. Right. I have never heard of that, sorry. Never ever heard of that one. If you are completely new to both MMOs and RuneScape, I would strongly recommend starting as a normal account, not as an Iron Man, because one of the limitations I've got here, yeah, sure, it's more interesting for me having gone through the full experience. It is more interesting for me now having an account where if I want something, I'm the one who has to go and get it. No trading with other players, no benefiting from the player economy, sure. But for a brand new player, I would strongly, strongly recommend you start out free to play on a just normal account. And just go experience the game. Train the skills, do the quest. Some are more significant, some are very silly. Just last night, actually, I went through a whole bunch of quests on this account. One of them... This isn't really a spoiler, more as just a what the hell even is that? One of those quests had me discover a poor duckling that was all alone, didn't know where its family had gone, followed the trail to try and figure out where its family had gone, its parents, and in the process was advised to try a duck speak potion that a very high druid was talking about. Said duck speak potion turned my character into a duck. And that is not the weirdest part of it all. The weirdest part is discovering a whole-ass duck and frog society which we had to interact with in order to find the parents of this poor little duckling. So yes, a whole duck and frog society underneath a strange willow tree. And that's just a quest that popped up out of nowhere. Has no particular bearing or relevance to anything. It was just a, hey, look at this silly little thing. And it's like, what is this? Oh dear. PSO came out in 2000 on the Dreamcast. Okay, wow. What skill are we grinding at the moment? This is currently Divination, but technically we are grinding towards Invention. If we end up rolling Invention again later today, I will do a different one of the skills towards it. And Crescendo has decided that we are now randomizing. Okay, immediately step away from that. No. Clean the inventory because these are not normally usable. Right, step away from that. Crescendo has a new plan for us, and new plan must be enacted immediately. So let's have a look. RS3 away, spin the wheel. Speak of the devil, it's farming time. We talked about the farming patch, now we're going to be using them. Let's go farming. Alright then. Let's go farming. So, the farming skill is level 9. So I've got plenty of work to do there. Cosmos asking as to how grinding most skills goes, just clicking. So this is an exceptionally passive skill. A very, very passive skill. Most collection skills are pretty passive, but the amount of passiveness to them is very varied. This one couldn't be more passive, if I'm quite honest. You do just kind of go, wow, 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 is my inventory full? Wow, wow. It's... Oh boy. Farming is not that. Farming is a combination of pretty active and then hurry up and wait. And we're not going to be farming.
Sub stuff go wild.
We're not going to be farming. Alright then, Queen, thank you very much for subscribing with your Prime up onto 32 months there. And immediately forcing us to roll away from farming. Yep. Queen going, wait, because Queen did not read either. We are immediately rolling off of that. Let's see, what is it going to be instead? We are going to be doing... we just did divination. I'm going to counter that with... Slayer! Slayer it is. Alright then. We are doing Slayer now for a bit. So Slayer is the skill of following the... what do you call it? Following the tasks given to you by Slayer Masters. Was a pixel away from farming? It was. Yep. Alright, so yeah, we are going to be going to a Slayer Master and getting tasks as to obliterate our foes. Now, the Slayer Master I can get to at the moment is not the best one suited for my level, because I do need to do some quests in order to get to the next, more suitable one over in Canifis. As I'm not questing right now, we will instead go with the one at Edgeville, so let's get out of here. We are done with divination. Farming is just not going to happen whatsoever, unless we re-roll into farming later. Every single sub, every single time someone uses that channel point redemption, every single time someone tips the stream with £2 or more, we re-roll. You can get to Canifis without quest now? Since fucking when? There's a whole bloody... Alright, thank you very much, Jiramu, for popping in with that detail. What? Things change so much when you take a break. Canifis is a no-quest access now? Alright then, first I need to find out about that. Yeah. So what? Can I... Well, I can't just wander up around there, because that's blocked by a big old mountain, right? So I do still have to go through the temple. But can I just go... It requires Priest in Peril quests to get through that. Just need to defeat the ghoul? Fair enough. There's a big map. Oh yeah. If you have a look where we just were... We were... Oh, too far. We were there. And the extent of where we could see was up here, over here, down here. So that square is how far we could see moments ago. Oh, and up to Ice Mountain. So it's about... Yeah, about that square. And that's the map, with all icons on. And this is just the surface map, so this doesn't take into account places like over here, where you've got the Tazar City hidden away. Or, something. Something is over there. What we do not currently know. Oh yeah. I guess we're gonna go find out if I can just wander straight on into Canifis. Let's grab some appropriate stuff. I'm gonna go melee for now, because, why not? It's right in front of me. Let's grab all of these, grab an emergency teleport, and I'm already wearing my rings, that is all good. And let's grab ourselves some emergency food, because you never know. There we are. RS3? Yes, indeed. Alright, so let's just teleport over to Varrock, get ourselves a little bit close. Actually, is this going to be much closer, given the tele location? You know what? I'm going to use my Wicked Hood to get us really close. It's not got many teleports on it, 2 teleports a day, but that's going to get me a hell of a lot closer, a hell of a lot quicker. Considering we've got 0 farming done during the farming moment, speed potentially is of the essence. Yep. Slightly misjudged the angle on that. Alright, we're just gonna pass by the old man and whatever's going on over there. That is none of my concern. My concern is that I can apparently just wander on into here, so... Let's see if I can just go straight through the mausoleum. Hi, Cerberus. Don't mind me, just coming through. So far, so good. Can I just open that gate as well? I am not looking up anything on this. I'm just kind of vibing it out at the moment. Yep. And then there is a ghoul level 33. Let's just give him a smack on the head, shall we? That smack was very effective. Okay, pass through Holy Barrier. Mauritania is a dangerous... Sorry, Mauritania is dangerous and death is more than a possibility. You may encounter werewolves, so be sure to have your Wolfbane dagger equipped. Do you want to proceed? I don't have a Wolfbane dagger, so let's proceed regardless. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, right? Right? Can't believe you can get here without a quest now. Huh. Alright, well. First thing you do when you get to a new area is you head all the way over this way. Playing a permadeath character? Not quite permadeath. So it's a hardcore Iron Man, which means the hardcore status vanishes on my first death. There we go. Activate the lodestone. First thing we do in a new location. So now I can teleport back here at any time, completely for free. It just takes a 10-second warm-up, something like that. It looks, in fact, like this. If I go teleport to there. See, someone else just did the same thing. Do a little circle, grab the book. Bop, 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 bop. And you arrive in the location. If something attacks you during that channeled animation, your teleport is instantly cancelled, so it does not get you out of combat. So what we're doing at the moment is we're going to get a task from Majna here, who, if I do a quick little examine, he looks dangerous. Yeah, he does look a little bit dangerous, doesn't he? He literally has a devil tail and red skin. Yeah, doesn't look the friendliest type, but let's get a task anyway. What have you got for me? I need another assignment. What assignment are they going to give me? What do I need to go slay? Because you only gain Slayer XP when you kill enemies which are given to you by a Slayer Master. And my task is to kill 59 vampires. Got any tips? The last feral vampire I killed, I found fire spells to put them down effectively. That's not the tip I'm looking for. They're extremely powerful beings. They feed on the blood of living, so watch you don't get bitten. Look in the woods of Mauritania. Do I have the means to kill a vampire? I don't know that I do. Wait until the sun comes up. The sun does not come up in Mauritania. You look at this place around here. You look at this land. Does this look like the kind of land that has strong sunlight come to it at any time? Also, now I have Cannabis. I can go ahead and crack that at some point. I'll do that later unless otherwise given the opportunity. So where am I going to find vampires? It's been a while since I fought vampires. I'll be quite honest with you. I know they're somewhere in these woods, but I mean, there's some feral vampires, level 61. Ooh, that is a bit of a level. My character is only level 67, and I need to kill 59 of these. I might be using a bit of my food supplies here. Let's give it a try. 67% hit chance. Not the highest of life points on these things. Only 2,200. Okay, actually, you know what? We might be alright. Am I going to want vampire dust? Oop. This one also just wanted to die. Fair enough. A very powerful tool that was added with RS3, I don't know if it's also on Old School, is what's called area loot. So you can see at the moment I've got some loot on the ground here, some coins and some vampire dust. If I kill another vampire without picking it up, just wait for the kill. We now have another set of vampire dust on the ground. I can loot all without having to go to each individual item. So long as I have direct line of sight and can physically go get that item, I can use area loot to grab that item. But if something even as simple as a tree blocks line of sight, can't reach it. And that is in a, I think, like 8 square radius. So it's a very generous way of allowing you to just pick up the loot as you go, rather than constantly running over each and every individual piece. I'm going to look up what this vampire dust is used for, though. Do I actually want to be gathering this? Because it's going to take up a lot of space, if so. Let's see. It is used to make a vampire bat pouch. And that's it. That is its entire use. Okay. I'm probably not going to gather any more vampire dust then. Because that is well beyond my current level. Very easy to reobtain by the looks of it. And it's going to take up a lot of inventory space. So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, looting in this game is honestly so much nicer than it used to be in the past. There are so many quality of life features they've added over the years. Many, many years. That are just so much nicer to handle the skills with. Say, for example, with woodcutting. You still have 28 inventory spaces, but you can, as you progress through woodcutting, obtain what is known as a log box, which you can put logs into, but you can't take them back out unless you're at a bank, and then you put them all into the bank. So you can't use the log box to carry a much higher number of logs for general use. It is only for gathering purposes, but it saves you constantly having to run back and forth between the bank, just for the sake of 28 or fewer logs. You can have more items in your inventory in general, because you don't need to spare that space for the logs, whatever activity you're getting up to. There are various skills that have those kinds of simple benefits attached to them now. And then yeah, I can just grab the loot I want, leave the loot I don't, without having to fumble through awkward interfaces. It is lovely. So when it comes to Slayer, combat, I'm using the Revolution setup. So that's where I have a number of different abilities unlocked from my melee skills. And whilst my character has the ability to use them within my 1 to 9 bar here, it will automatically activate them, trying with the leftmost one that's off cooldown and affordable. But any abilities which are not on that bar, I can still utilize, again if I have the adrenaline to use them, or other requirements. But I won't automatically use them, I need to manually cast those. You can instead use full manual setup, where there's no revolution bar, so your character will only use abilities when you manually activate them. But for most typical gameplay, outside of bossing, you can just let your character handle full revolution, and it'll do the job for you. But there is still some sense in choosing what order you set your abilities in, and sometimes you'll want to manually set off an ability anyway, or queue one up, because there'll be an ability that would work better sooner rather than later, or later rather than sooner, whichever way around is necessary to you. Now my inventory is filling up rather quickly here with bits and pieces. You know what, I'm going to drop all this vampire dust. If I ever need vampire dust, I can come back and get it. I don't need it right now. I can always come back and grab it. Instead, all of these seeds are going to be very, very useful to me, because as this account has only recently unlocked members, I don't have much in the way of seeds. I appear to have lost some strength. I think one of these leeches sapped my strength. Ew. It's fine, it's only 1 point down out of 50. It's not going to impact my kill rates much at all. As long as it doesn't go any further than that. But yeah, recently members, so recently access to the seed drop tables. I'm going to need these seeds for farming. Oh, plenty. Oh, a blood rune. That's my first blood rune on the account. Sweet. Got ourselves another herb. We got a Ranar and a Marintil now. Those will also come in very, very handy. I have accidentally hit the leech, which is probably going to try and sap my strength now. It died too soon. Good. Now it's giving me the information I've got a something like 70% or 68% hit chance, 67 normally, on these feral vampires. If I were to use magic, my hit chance would go quite a lot higher if I had a similar tier of magic weapon, which I think I am currently lacking. I've got a tier 50 melee weapon But they're a little bit easier to get hold of than tier 50 magic weapons, I think. I'd have to look into that. But it does say here, magic would be more effective, specifically fire spells would be very effective. And if I recall the way the accuracy stat works, it takes your weapon accuracy divided by your opponent's armor rating, and then it also multiplies that value by a fraction. That fraction is normally 55% for a just true neutral effect, 45% if they are strong against it. So like as these are melee creatures, they'll be strong against range. 65% if it's a thing they're weak to, so this will be magic for these ones. And 90% if it is the specific weakness. So the difference between a range attack and fire spells against feral vampires is literally twice as accurate using fire spells. As I'm using melee rather than fire spells, I've got a 55% multiplier rather than a 90% multiplier. So I'm still losing a lot of potential accuracy there, but because the damage output is enough, honestly, I'm not too concerned. As you see, my health is staying pretty much near max, because the passive recovery between fights is actually just keeping me topped up. Oh, but my strength has been sapped by yet another leech. Where even is it? I think it just died. Oh wait, it's not the leeches sapping my strength, it is the vampires. Oh damn. Alright. Black hatchet, I can turn that into money. Ranar seed, gonna be very nice for farming later on. I am running out of inventory space, even with this. So, if I can get a moment to use my ring, I can turn the black hatchet into coins and put that in my coin pouch. Low level... Interrupted by gaining XP. Low level alchemy on the hatchet. Bam, there we go. And I can now pick up these pieces. I seem to be leveling quite quickly for this sort of game, and my own level for this zone. So the early levels do go up very quickly. And in this case, I also have all the free-to-play skills at level 50 or above, with the exception of Runecrafting 49, forgive me. So my combat skills do vastly outscale my Slayer skill at the moment. Slayer skill is currently at 18, it has not even 4,000 XP, whereas my attack stat has 112,000 XP. So you're very right to observe that I am leveling quite quickly in Slayer at the moment. You'll notice it's the only skill that seems to really be going up. Attack just hit 51, but in that time, Slayer's gone 15, 16, 17, 18. And, right, I'm at the point where I'm just picking up... I'm going to be leaving stuff behind now, so I don't want that. I don't want to be leaving stuff behind. Do I sacrifice a tuner for the Guam? Yes, I do. I want the Guam. Give me my Guam. Where is it? There it is. Alright. I'm going to head on over to the bank, drop off this tuner I clearly do not need, drop off any of these unstackables, and continue on the Slayer. Yeah, it's Slayer's skill that's going up. I haven't advanced a combat level at all in this entire time we've been here, but again, that's because I'm not gaining much in the way of combat stats. It's the Slayer skill I'm training. The Slayer skill in particular is a bit of an unusual skill conceptually. It is the understanding as to how to kill more convoluted beasts. However, a lot of your early Slayer tasks will not have you fighting anything that has any Slayer requirements to take down anyway. But as you advance, you become able to use more involved methods to deal with more particular creatures. For example, I now have the Slayer skill to kill cave slimes. I actually know how to kill them. I also now know how to kill banshees, and I've unlocked the ability to wear earmuffs, which are necessary for killing banshees. Because they're banshees. You don't want to hear them. It's very, very bad juju if you hear them. Let's drop these herbs off into my potions tab. Let's drop... Yeah, just drop off all the tuna as is. The rest of this is stackable, or the HUD. The HUD can go in as well. Stackable items I'm happy to leave in my inventory, because if I get more of them, they just go into the same spot, so who cares? Alright. No food on me. I do have an emergency teleport. Nothing should go wrong, but if something does go wrong, I can teleport out instantly so that I'm not at risk. A very important thing to have. And that emergency teleport is this particular book right here. Let's go back to where those vampires were and continue slaying. There's only 13 more to go, and then we need to get a new task. One of the other benefits of Slayer is that whilst you're on a Slayer task, the drops you get from Slayer monsters, certainly the more advanced ones, significantly improve. So, for example, against the Abyssal Demons, which are a very high-level Slayer monster at this point, well beyond what we'll be doing today, for Abyssal Demons, the drop rate of the Abyssal Whip is frankly abysmal unless you're on a drop task with them. On a Slayer task. If you have a Slayer task to kill the Abyssal Demons, the Abyssal Whip rate, I think it increases tenfold. In fact, I'm going to double check that. Abyssal Demon... Tabaganda's here. Hey, another Slayer level. I am a very low level Slayer at the moment, which is why it's going up so fast. Because I just have so much DPS. Although my strength is reduced by 5 at the moment, that's a bit yikes. Let me see here. Abyssal Whip. Let me see. Pre-roll. What's that? That is a complicated drop table, I'm not going to lie. That is a very complicated drop table. If a player is on a Slayer task, there is a 1 in 3052 chance to receive a wand or orb. If not successful or not on a task, there is a 1 in 1000 chance to receive a whip. Right, okay. And then there's other luck enhancers you can get as well. So you can't get the wand or orb if you're not on a Slayer task. There we are. Yes, I didn't even intend that pun, but you're right. Abysmal. Now, there are things I could do to prevent my continuing strength drain here. I could, for example, just use a strength potion to fix it back up again. And I think I actually have the supplies for that in the bank, so I could just go do that. Those drop chances something else? Yeah, but imagine if you can kill an Abyssal Demon, say, every 3 seconds. Then, if you could do that every 3 seconds, you could kill 1,200 in an hour. And if you have a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting the weapon from them, then you get the weapon in less than an hour, on average. So when you consider it in that factor, how different is that from Warframe, really? Man, these guys are giving such a variety of seeds. This is going to be really great for my farming tab. It's kind of good we didn't go do farming, because we re-rolled instantly off it due to a sub. Thank you, Queen. If you're still here, that is. I mean, still thank you, just... yeah. Alright, Slayer task complete. Let's get out of here. Gonna just move a little bit to the side. Actually, I can see the lodestone from here. I'm not going to teleport to it. I can see the lodestone. This does seem more dull than the usual super speed, god murder, damage stuff in Warframe. I get you on that. This is a much more casual game at this kind of tier. If we got into bossing content, Warframe would be the more casual game. Because in terms of bossing content, certainly if you're at bosses appropriate for your level, you don't want to screw up. You want to be managing your resources, your food, your health, your prayer, your potions, dealing with special attacks, dealing with your evolution to combat abilities bar, to ensure that whatever you're working with doesn't go bad. Hey, Majna, grant me a task, please. It's now 75 cave crawlers. Okay, got any tips? Last cave crawler I found died to slash. Oh, well, what do you know? I have a slashing weapon here. That's max efficiency then. Small and fast, often seen creeping around in the Releka Slayer dungeon. Avoid their barbed tongue or you'll get poisoned. Okay, so we're dealing with poison. And melee is the way to go to kill them. This is good. Anti-poison I should be able to put together. They've got to be in more places than just... Releka though. Let's see, cave crawler. Oh, those things. Oh, now I think about it, I don't remember seeing them anywhere other than Releka, but the game has changed. But if the Slayer Master says Releka, maybe it's time I go over to Releka. Let's drop off. Actually, do I have a farming tab? I don't have a farming tab. Let's create one. Let's put the potato seeds on it, because I'm probably never going to run out of potato seeds. And then let's start putting other seeds into there, so I have a bit of organization. There we go. And then as for the other stuff, well, I can just dump it and it'll all go into the right places. No, it won't. I haven't put those into my summoning tab yet. Or runes tab. I'm good at this. There we are. Alright then. So, a little bit of loot from that. Honestly, getting that variety of seeds is a big damn deal to me. I'm quite happy with that. Some of these aren't enough to grow a full plant. Most of these are beyond my level, but it's gathering them. That is just an outright positive. So, time to head on over to Releka, but first, let's get some anti-poison prepared. Now, I think I had... Yeah, I do have one anti-poison just lying around. I picked that up earlier when I went to Tybo, one eye. But I would like to have a little bit more, so let's remind myself. Using the in-game guide, anti-poison requires Marantil and a ground unicorn horn. Ah. I think if I go unit... Yeah. No unicorn horn. Do I even have Marantil? I have a singular Marantil. Okay. Well, I'll take my singular Marantil. I'll take a Vial of Water. I know the location of a easy-to-dispatch unicorn, and it just so happens to be somewhat kind of on my route to go do this Slayer task. I'm also going to take some basic food supplies with me. I'll just take the 3 tuna. If I need more, I can come back and get more. In terms of getting to Releka, though, yeah, I'm just going to take the lodestone to Catherby and take it from there, because I don't have the Releka lodestone yet. And yeah, leveled up to 51 attack, no new unlocks, it just makes me more precise in my attacks. I could consider bringing a attack potion that I have lying around to make it where I'm a little bit more accurate temporarily. Don't know if I really need that, to be quite honest with you, but I can bring that. Gas on it, why not? Why not? So, first things first, let's go to Catherby. Is it Catherby or Catherby? I think it's Catherby. We're going to go to Catherby. We're going to go grab the unicorn horn, sprint over to Releka, go find the Fremenic Slayer dungeon, and start tearing apart those cave crawlers, whilst trying not to be poisoned. And look, there's the unicorn I remember. Hi there, unicorn. This is definitely not a crime against divinity. Chop chop. Literally. There we go. 1 set of bones, 1 unicorn horn, bury the bones, clean the Marantil, pop it into a vial of water, and mix it up with the... Oh, gotta grind it. Grind the unicorn horn, and then pop that into the Marantil potion. Anti-poison acquired. There we go. Also, onions and marigolds, they've all grown up lovely. If we were doing farming, this is one of the areas we would be dealing with the allotment. We'd harvest the onions, harvest my marigolds, plant some new stuff. But Queen said no to that. So off we go. We are going to run away from that. Past the maple trees, oak trees, trees. Don't worry about it, Queen, it's all fine. It's fine. So we're going to go for a wander up here. Past Camelot. Yes, that is the Camelot. But that's past Camelot. So this counts for a reroll? I mean, you can ask and we'll find out. Oh my word! That's not a reroll, but that is definitely worth us taking a moment to celebrate it. Flowing Thoughts after all this time. /VIP. And I have to make sure I get this exactly correct. Flowing_thoughts. Boom! VIP. After the postcard as well, yeah. You've been saving and saving and saving. You've now got yourself both of those. Look at that. Another diamond in the chat. Love to see it. Love to see it. You're just stacking up all the badges now, aren't you? Right, I've crossed away from the bridge here, but I actually think I need to... Can I take that shortcut? 48 agility. I absolutely cannot take that shortcut. So I'll go this way. How long have you been saving for that, Flo? How long since the postcard have you been saving for that? Willow trees. So many different types of trees around here. So lovely. You can check. Fair enough. I'll leave you to the check. I'm unlocking music tracks. You can tell I've not walked through here yet on this account. I'm constantly learning new RuneScape musics. Is this a game where you need to level up literally everything, or can you just kind of get by? I mean, you do what you want to do, Crescendo Fury. You do what you want to do. There are some people that play RuneScape literally one skill at a time. They will choose one skill, they will get it to 99, and then they will skill up the next one. And I want to be very clear as to just how crazy that is. Level 99 is 13 million experience. My account, my entire account, currently has 2 million experience. The experience needed to get to 92 in a skill is half the XP to get to 99. Every 7 levels down is half as much again. So think about just how crazy that is. One skill at a time, 13 million experience in one skill before even touching the next. And that's how some people play. Granted, having already played the game more normally first. Challenges come later. You go about it at your own pace. It is the very nature of a non-linear MMO like this. Do as you see fit. There are restrictions. If you go to an area with hostile monsters and you don't have combat skills trained, you are probably going to be having a bad time. If you want to go to an advanced area like Prifddinas, you're going to need to have completed some quests, gained a bunch of levels to get to that location. But if you wanted to train literally every skill to 99, you could do that without completing a single quest, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I think the quests for rune crafting, summoning, herblore, they're all gone. Or rather, no longer mandatory. Nope, necromancy. You'd have to complete one quest. One. Skills to 99. Yes, indeed. I mean, for the age of the game, how wrong is Flo? Alright, we have arrived in the Roleka province. Over here are the Fremennik. But we're not going to go visit the Fremennik today. That is not our goal. I'm going to slide on around here and go over to the Lodestone. Activate that so I can teleport back to this area a lot quicker in future. That's a very valid point, Flo. Yeah, 3 months is very quick to get those points because you did do some very clever gambles, didn't you? But they were gambles. It definitely worked out for you there. Community supported VIP status. Alright, so we're all the way out here. The reason these foals aren't attacking me and these black unicorns aren't attacking me is because my combat level is sufficiently high, I think just enough, that they look at me and go, yeah, you know what, maybe not. I literally have too much aura for them to risk attacking me. Love it. Alright, so over there is the entrance to the Fremennik Slayer dungeon. Just pass by the musician here, pass by this camp, pass by Lally and some golden sheep. There are various weird things all around here. Let's examine the statue. It says, did that thing just twitch? One certainly hopes not, because that looks like something that would tear me to pieces. Yeah. Why not? We're on Twitch. Oh yeah, that's what it means. Did that thing just twitch? Yeah, share your channel, mate. What are you streaming? Alright, let's pop on inside. Here we go. And look at this, the cave crawlers are right at the front here, and there's someone else farming this location. So rather than be a dick to Smelly Todger. Never change, RuneScape. Never change. Alright, so rather than be a dick to Smelly Todger, we are going to hop worlds. We're going to hop worlds. So let's see. Let's not go to the really, really busy 84. That sounds like a bad idea. Let's go to 88. Wait for it to load. So, for those unfamiliar with the idea of worlds, RuneScape has a fixed number of servers that you can access. Some of them are free-to-play servers. They are limited to free-to-play content. Others are member servers. They have access to all the content. If you're a member, you want to be on a member world to access the member content. Because some areas have a very limited number of monsters, and the game doesn't want to have just an infinitely sized room, instead there are these many worlds you can go to, so if one person's using one area, you hop to the next one. Gone are the days of worrying about things being overly crowded across all worlds. RuneScape, at least RuneScape 3, isn't that popular, and that's a good thing, I'll be honest, because it means I've hopped once and I found an empty spot. What is a Todger? I'm going to let you go to Urban Dictionary for that one. I think that's for the best queen. Alright, let's start swinging at this one. I have 100% hit chance, so I'm not even going to use my attack potion. Sod that. Hey, achievement. Kill a cave crawler. Sure. Alright. What are we grinding now? We are currently grinding Slayer. We've got 73 more of these to kill. Now if I wait for one more drop on the floor before I start picking things up, I can then activate the area loot, because it prefers, well, I think it only opens if there's at least 2 items to loot. But then it stays open until I leave the area. That'll just make looting that a little bit easier. And this is going to give me apparently a shit ton of herbs. Oh my. And yes, this is a British game, I am definitely pronouncing that correctly. It is herbs. With an H, damn it. Okay, nature runes, a whole bunch of different herb types, gold charms. This is a nice task. It's also going to fill my inventory at lightning speed. There's a setting if you want to open for a single item. There is, you're very right, there is a setting to open for a single item. However, that is mildly frustrating, especially when dungeoneering, because it means then often it'll be like, oh, here you go. There's a single key on the floor. Do you want to open up your entire area loot for it? No, just give me the key. I'm trying to sprint through the dungeon. So, you're very right. I could set it up that way, but then it becomes inconvenient elsewhere. And I'm not one to fiddle with settings every time I change activity. Basically, I'm saying I'm a lazy git. That's what it comes down to. Now, these guys are also dropping vials of water, which are not really that precious, if I'm quite honest, so I'm going to leave those on the ground. The keen-eyed among you might notice that down the bottom there are 2 values shown in the area loot. Value and High Alk. High Alk is the more precise value for me, because that gives me an indication as to what I can actually sell things for, because the value is how much other players will pay for it, according to the Grand Exchange. I can't trade with other players, so the value field is irrelevant to me, aside from occasionally letting myself know how much money I would have if I wasn't an Iron Man account. One of the things at least early game players will notice is how weirdly high priced some of the, some of the early game items are. Some items just have obscene prices for how easy it is to gather the item, and for how hard it is to otherwise gather cash from non-players. And that's because those items are needed by players who otherwise just have money from other skills, other sources. So especially things like basic logs, things like water runes, the prices can feel a little bit crazy at times. For an Iron Man account, all of that value is meaningless. It's just me, myself, and I, and the value is what I give it, or what the alchemy price gives it. The high alch price is if I cast the high level alchemy spell, how much cash I would get back in return for one of that item. Also, fun fact, I don't actually have the level for that spell. It's close, but don't technically have the level for it. You can also use low-level alchemy, which is less efficient, or sell to an appropriate vendor. Queen, miss tuning into streams? I mean, you can always tune in, depending on what you're going on. You can always tune in. Right, I'm going to make the executive decision here. I'm about to fill my inventory with bits and pieces. I'm not going to waste any of my anti-poison, because it's a little bit of a pain to produce. And yep, I've just filled up. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this one tiny plated bronze salvage, which was worth 13 gold. That was pathetic. But yeah, I don't want to chuck out any of these items. I don't want to be leaving any loot on the table. All of this is valuable to me. So I'm going to teleport out of here, bank it all, and then continue. It just makes sense. And this is a very common thing when you're running Slayer tasks, where you also want the loot, is you will be running to a bank or finding ways to send items to banks if you can't carry it all. There are things I could probably get hold of to store herbs. I think they are a little bit beyond what I currently have access to. Let's move these all into the potion section. There we go. I'm going to keep the anti-poison with me. I haven't been poisoned yet, but I know if I don't bring it with me, I'm immediately going to get poisoned, aren't I? No, fair enough, Queen. If you're busy, you're busy. That's how life goes. I mean, part of the reason I'm not streaming, 14 hours a day every day is because I too am busy. So, that makes sense. Christian is saying, an idle game with the RuneScape formulas complicates me, so I'm scared to imagine what real RuneScape will be like in my brain. I mean, there's plenty of near idle activity in this game. In RuneScape, there is a logout timer of a base 5 minutes. If you verify your email address, it's 10 minutes. And if you become a member, it's 15 minutes. So I could sit my character doing something for up to 15 minutes without interaction. It's just only a limited number of activities allow you to go that long without interaction. There you go, Ellie. There you go. Yeah, you've looked up the word. Now you get why I chuckled the way I did. Ah, I now know how to kill rock slugs. Convenient, I suppose. Anyway, I've dropped off my items here. You can see why this is my emergency teleport, because it's also right by a bank chest, so I can easily store my items. Let us teleport back to the Fremnik province and continue my work. Now, I'll be honest, the AFK nature of some parts of RuneScape at times frustrates... Oh, penguin! Sorry, excuse me a moment. Penguin! Yes! This game is equal amounts silly and serious. This is one of the sillier ones. By far. So, I'm going to just come back to that AFK point a moment. This is what's literally called a distraction and diversion. A D&D. They are intended to literally distract you and divert you away from what other stuff you were doing. In this case, it is to spy on penguins that are spying on us. There are penguins roaming around RuneScape, spying on our activities, and every week they move to a new location. And there is a particular conspiratorial someone who does not believe the penguins are up to any good, and so asks you to spy on them, to report their location to him, and in doing so, you can pick up rewards. It is literally penguin hide and seek. This goddamn game. Equal parts silly and serious. And you're never quite sure at what time which one will happen. Back to the AFK topic. So, there is quite a clamour from at least certain parts of the player base for AFK-able skills. And part of that is because the amount of things you get access to at the very high end of skills, or just the kinds of items you can unlock when you've maxed out all skills. Like, for example, the max cape. So because there are some significant benefits to getting to that point, There are people that want to get there as easily as possible. They want to have it on their mobile phone, tap a button once every 5 to 15 minutes, and just let it tick up whilst they're actively at work. Gotta say, as a way to absolutely ruin your ability to pay attention to what you're doing, I would rate that quite high up there. Not something I would strongly recommend. Play games when you can game, not when you're working. That little preach aside, there are a variety of activities you can AFK, others that you can make more AFK-able for the amount of interaction you need, and then at the same time plenty of activities which can be more active. It is up to you, the individual, to decide which activities to involve yourself in, how active you wish to be at any given moment in time. It is entirely up to you. If I were, for example, on my main account, or rather, if I wasn't Iron Man, if I was on this account but not Iron Man, I could go to the Grand Exchange, I could pick up an item called an Aggression Potion, and just take a swig of that. In doing so, all of these monsters here would want to continuously attack me for 6 minutes. And for those 6 minutes, I wouldn't need to interact with the game unless I wanted to loot still. Because my character would auto-retaliate to those monsters. But I don't want to do that. One, I'm Iron Man, so I don't have access to that potion. It is a very high level potion to make, but anyone can take a swig. And second, I want to play the game. Brother only asking if you don't have to kill a monster yet because your Slayer skill is too low. Are the monsters invincible or just tougher? Invincible. You can attack them. Some of them they'll let you get them down to 1 hit point. Others you can't even hurt. It'll let you attack them and just go, oops, you don't know how to kill this thing. You're fucked. Run away. And depending on the nature of the threat, if you don't have the right equipment to protect yourself from that threat, even running away might suddenly become impossible. For example, if you try fighting a Banshee without having earmuffs properly worn against them, your stats will be drained so quickly you might lose the ability to teleport out, depending on the teleport you brought. So that's bad. That is catastrophically bad, I must impress. Even for things like smoke devils, they usually inhabit areas which are so hostile, just trying to be there without the appropriate gear will kill you. But yeah, Slayer levels, not advisory, they are requirements. It is pretty much just combat level that is the only advisory level in all of RuneScape. If something says, this is level 70 and you're level 67, you go, you know what, I might be able to handle that. If it's level 200 and you're level 67, you might be about to have a coming to God, but you never know. But for everything outside of combat level, a level for a skill is a hard requirement. Whether it's Slayer, mining, construction, if you don't have that level and you don't have some kind of boost to get you to that level temporarily, you can't do it. The monster is unkillable, the rock is unmineable, that sort of thing. Regular saying to me, levels stop meaning anything when I saw someone beat Tuztok Chad at level 3. So Tuztok Chad is a very interesting fight, because you can cheese various elements of it, and it is the cheesing of those elements that enable people to do that. By and large, that level 3 trickery won't work in most scenarios, or at least it's certainly not sustainable. But for a very codified environment like the Jad fight, those kinds of challenges are possible, yeah. You're right to point out that combat level does mean a lot less than every other level. Hence why I pointed out as well. You know, I could be picking up these vials of water and slapping some of these herbs straight into them to create unfinished potions, but I'm thinking of the bank space issue. And because I kind of need to gather everything, I don't want to be too careless with my bank slots. So I am still going to leave those vials on the ground. Yes, regulars, yeah. Very high-end bosses will have thousands of combat level when we have a maximum of, what is it, like 160 or something? But as you rightly point out, that is going to be to do with their hit points being, dear God, redonkulous. It's just stupid how many hit points they have, but they need that to not die in like 2 shots to us. 152 current max? Thank you. I'm picking up these potato seeds. I'm not sure that I actually want them. Because potatoes are very, very basic, and I don't think I'm going to need potatoes. And I can easily get the seeds from shops. And my inventory is now full. You know what? I'm going to drop... The Eye of Newt is easy to get hold of. I'm going to drop the Eye of Newt, pick up the Guam, and then I'm going to teleport out of here. We got one more to go. You know what? I can kill one more. I'm glad I checked before I teleported. Kill one more. Task complete. There we go. And it's another Guam. Alright, I'll drop the potatoes. There we go. Very good. Didn't use the anti-poison. What was that about? I could be poisoned. Maybe these got adjusted and Magna never found out. Let us teleport back to Canopus, drop off my loot, and ask for a new task. Until such time as we have to roll onto a new one. Roll onto a new skill. Yeah, I guess. I mean, at the same time, you say damage output is absolutely insane. You're talking to a Warframe content creator. And if I know anything, I know how damage can scale stupidly. RuneScape does not have that level of stupid scaling. Not even close. RuneScape is actually balanced. If anyone would like to believe otherwise, first, play Warframe. Quite frankly. The only thing you remember about RuneScape is cabbages are holy for some reason. Depends on the god. You know, not everyone will consider cabbages holy, but there is a certain Brassica Prime who will certainly believe so. What does this mean? Every sub randomises a grind? So Mirrorlabe, I have a spinner with every single member skill on it. If anyone subscribes, or is gifted a subscription, or if anyone uses the channel point redemption to randomize, or if I am tipped £2 or more, I will bring up the spinner, roll a new skill, that's the one we're training, until it spins again. We had it where someone did a spin using the channel points, it gave farming, and then not a minute later, Queen came in and subbed, and then we're on to Slayer. The farming never even started. So, let's see, what's the next task from Magna? It is to kill rock slugs. I just unlocked the ability to kill rock slugs, and now I need to go kill rock slugs. Cool. Weak to magic, particularly water magic. Where do I find these rock slugs? Oh, I can't ask for the tips anymore. Great. Mirrorlabe! Mirrorlabe, thank you very much for the gifted subs. Gone out to community there. That one has gone out to Litmind. Litmind. If you're around, make sure you say thank you to Mirrorlabe for that. It's very generous of them. And it means that we need to absolutely do a spin. Well, let's bring up the spin for that. We're no longer doing Slayer. Oh, it's fine, Queen. It's fine. We're doing agility now. Alright. I love agility. Agility is my favourite skill. Please, no one ever let me stop doing agility. Oh, I am so glad they added agility to the game. However long ago, and it's forever since been a thing that you have to do. So, yeah. What agility courses do I have access to? I have access to the Gnome agility course, but I'd need to do the skill to get there. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Oh, thank you. Okay, right. Oh, okay. We're good. We're good. We're spinning. Andrew has redeemed a spin. Oh. It's archaeology. Bring Quintus back. We're going to archaeology. God damn it. God damn it. Alright, here we go. Mirrorlabe's doing Mirrorlabe things. Cheers, Mirrorlabe, for the gifted sub. That one has gone out to a Necrono. Necrono, yep. What's so terrible about agility? Agility is running in circles. I wish it was more involved than that. Agility is the worst skill in the game. You run around various obstacle courses. As you get high level, you can run around different obstacle courses. And you keep running. And you keep running. And you keep running. Anyway, so let's respin, because Mirror Labor's forced us to respin. We're actually going to be... No! How do you do this to me? How? There's so many skill... Alright then, so, agility it is. So, here's the thing. Agility gives you two main benefits. One, it means that your run energy depletes slower and recharges faster. And two, you can access shortcuts dotted around the map. And I really do mean dotted. So, yeah. Okay, so as I was saying, I can go to Gnome Agility course, but I don't think I've unlocked the area. Do I still need a quest to unlock that area? I don't even know anymore. There is the Agility Arena, but that's not good until you're at level 40. And then there's the Birth Orb Agility course. Looks like I'm going to Birth Orb. Let's take off this heavy armor, because running in armor is exhausting. And yeah. Let's go to the Birth Orb Agility course. I'll keep the ring. The ring is nice. I worked hard for that ring. I'm keeping my ring. Do not touch my ring. Alright. No quest needed to get to Gnome Agility? But you used to need a quest to get into the Gnome Stronghold. How the... If you have access to a Nature Grotto bridge south of Canifis, it's actually fastest grind. That's horrible. You know what? I don't care if that's good. I'm not doing it. That's horrible. I'm not jumping across a bridge to level 30. Just doing a quest that gives XP in a particular scout card's training. It would to some, but not today. I did quest last RuneScape stream, so today is a not quest day. Alright, so this is the most basic agility course. And this is how it goes. Are you ready for the most riveting gameplay you have ever seen? We go up to the log beam. We walk across the log beam. We go up to the wall. We climb up the wall. We go to the balancing ledge. We walk across the balancing ledge. We then navigate to the obstacle low wall. We climb over obstacle low wall. We swing on the rope swing. We swing on the monkey bars. And finally, we jump down ledge. Ta-da! And that is agility. Not AFKable. Not significant in any goddamn way. And the XP drops. As we climb up this, we gain 5 XP. Yay, we've reached level 9. We're now going to go across this, and we are going to gain 6 XP. Now let's go over this. And we gain 6 XP. Swinging on this, 5 XP. Swinging on the monkey bars. 6 XP, and then for completing a course you get a bonus 46 XP. Yeah. Does this course even have the talent scout? I think this course does not have the talent scout, no. I don't see him here. So yeah, we don't even get that distraction, Regulus. I completely forgot that existed. That's how much I hate agility. And yeah, you get no money for doing this, no resources, no anything. Nothing is given to you other than XP for doing these courses. Nothing. I don't understand why it's been left so empty, but it has been. It's just... Mirrorlade, why? Why? Well, gotta get this over and done with. There are some agility courses where if you angle the camera in exactly the right way and position your mouse, you can just keep clicking the same pixel on your screen forever, and you'll just loop the course. Is there a more entertaining way to gain agility? At a rate that is actually noteworthy, so not just like dailies? Not particularly. The most interesting place I can think of is the Brimhaven Agility Arena. But if you go there at level 1, you're going to get basically sod all. At level 20, you could maybe get a halfway acceptable rate. At level 40, you actually unlock the entire arena, and so can make your way around all of it at a somewhat reasonable speed. And even then, it does get old. It's certainly older, quicker, given that the game's less populated these days. Yay, we leveled up. Yeah, we reached level 10. Where can we go? I have unlocked the ability to use a new shortcut. It's one of the requirements for the dig site quest, and I now have the chance of getting double loot from farmers if I have 20 thieving. I have 16. So technically, that level unlocked me the sum of fuck all. How many times do you have to do this to get to 99? How many times do I have to do this one course? Because that's 5... I think it's 5.5 for each of these. So let's go 11, 22, 33, 40, 38, plus the 40 bonus. That's 78 XP. And let's just set a goal. Set level goal 99. So I think it's 78 XP for this course. We need 13,033,213 more XP. Divide that by 78. I would need to run this particular course. There are higher level ones. This particular course 167,093 times. Even the music stopped at that point. How do people play this game? By not playing agility. Fuck agility with a rake. It is horrible. But sometimes you can make your way through. Nikolai Smallwood, you are a legend. Thank you very much for subscribing here with your Prime. Much, 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 much appreciated. Let's have a look at what we can do instead of this godforsaken skill that has not been improved basically in any time whatsoever. Ah, right then. What are we doing instead? What are we doing? We're going back to divination. You know what? Not even slightly pissed. Not even slightly. Technically, we were doing invention before, but divination towards it. So, divination it is. Let us go gather the energy of the anima. Does Subgol need resetting? It does. I forgot to do that. My bad. Mirrorlade! Mirrorlade, thank you very much for the gifted sub over to Ductile Wheel 465. Much appreciated there, Mirrorlade. I guess we're not doing divination after all. Let's see, what do we get instead? It is summoning. Summoning. We haven't seen any summoning so far today. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of summoning. So summoning is the skill of, well, summoning creatures, or the main XP from it is actually in the preparation of a summoned creature. So let's head on over to the bank and walk you through the basics around that. Is Mirrorlade going to gift until agility? I certainly hope not. So, over here in my summoning tab, we actually have most of the basics of what's involved right off the bat, so I can show you what's going on. to get started with summoning, you need to obtain these charms. There are 4 main charms. We're not going to go into the exotic stuff. 4 main charms. Gold is your really basic one. Green is your medium one, skilling focused. Crimson is your medium one, combat focused, but there's overlap. And blue is your advanced one, by and large. How many bits to spin the wheel? Well, I said £2 tips, so how much is that in bits? 300 bits, just off the top of my head. Because that's $3, and dollars at current ratio is like... Yeah, it's about 3 to 2 ratio, actually. It's close to that. It's not quite, but it's getting there. Excuse me. So yeah, first things first to do summoning is you need to gather charms. I got a whole bunch of these from... Never mind, we're not doing summoning anymore. Alright then, Mirror, thank you very much for the 300 bits. Much appreciated. Let's see, what are we doing instead? I'm going to get faster at this spin, aren't I? We're actually going to be doing archaeology. Someone get Quintus back in for the second time. Alright, so archaeology, as talked about earlier, is the investigation into the past. We can now actually head on over to that location where the archaeology is happening at. Yeah, having fun, Mirror. Yeah, having fun there. Let's switch the lights to orange, just requested by Ductile. There we go. Okay. Alright. Not archaeology, we're actually going to be doing summoning. So there we go. It's not the same one. We went from summoning to archaeology to summoning, so summoning it is. There it is. So, as I was talking about with summoning, we need to be getting hold of those charms. And as you see, I already have a bunch of them, especially in the golds. I picked up a whole bunch from the quest Wolf Whistle. It gave me 250 gold charms, but you also just get those from combat. There are a few skilling ways to get them as well, but charms mostly come from combat. Now, the majority of summoning XP is actually then in the use of these charms to create summoning pouches. Actually using summons is more of a benefit of the skill, not a training of the skill. You get tiny XP from it. In order to create a summoning pouch, you require the appropriate charm, a blank pouch, some number of spirit shards based on the summon you're trying to create a pouch for, and its tertiary ingredient. Which, for example, if I take these wolf bones, that is one of those tertiary ingredients. This would allow me to create a spirit wolf pouch. But I can't just... Okay, they stopped as soon as I zoomed in, but fine. I can't just stand at a bank and rub my hands together and bam, there it is, like whatever that guy was doing. I think he was disassembling something. No, in order to create a summoning pouch, you need to go to a large summoning obelisk. And it just so happens there is one down the road here. We head down from Berthorpe into Taverley. This is where summoning begins for a new player. It is at this particular large obelisk over here. So having gone through all the process of gathering the charms and the tertiary ingredients, you would trade with pickup sticks, you would pick up any pouches and spirit shards, and before I can even hit infuse pouch, to create this, the rules are immediately. So this is where I would then hit create pouch, and my full inventory worth of charms and pouches and shards would all turn into pouches instantly. I'm not going to gain that experience. Mirror, thank you very much for the 300 bits. Much appreciated. We are instead going to be trading Hunter. I like Hunter. Hunter is one of my favourite skills to train, which I know sounds a little bit ridiculous, considering that in real world I'm very much against the concept, by and large, but in terms of RuneScape, it's actually a really nice skill to train. I like it. So Mirror, don't you fucking dare. I like Hunter. Let's go get geared up for Hunter, shall we? When it comes to Hunter, Hunter is a way of capturing or killing various critters without using combat. You instead use guile, you use traps and trickery to capture them, and then to otherwise utilize the resources. Do they have fishing in this game? They absolutely do. Fishing is one of the basic skills even a free player can do, all the way to 99. But members have access to more fishing content. You fish in different locations based on the kind of fish available in those locations. Some of them require different types of bait, others just require the right tool, and you can get some very exotic fish at high levels. Fishing is crucial for a lot of players to give them a solid food source for replenishing their hit points. So, let's gather supplies. Now, in terms of early hunter, I remember saying currently fishing in Minecraft, so when you do such complicated things I can't follow. Fair enough. So in terms of hunter, there are a few things I could do at this very low level of just level 5. It's currently the lowest skill I have, because it's the last member skill I've touched since becoming a member. But let's see, I can snare golden warblers. I can attempt to catch red soporific moths, but that's from a D&D. Scarab catching, no idea what that's actually about. I can track the common kebbit. I can track the polar kebbit. I can snare crimson swifts. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go for snaring crimson swifts. I don't know where the golden warbler is. I have a feeling it's in the desert and I don't want to go there. So I am going to capture crimson swifts. They are a good source of feathers, and I do need feathers. So let us grab... There they are, some bird snares. How many can I use at once at this level? I can use 2 traps at level 1. When does it become 3 traps? At level 30. That's fine. That's plenty far away. Now this area, Birth of Pentavely, is basically the tutorial area. So a lot of really basic stuff exists around here. It allows you to just get started, whether it's farming, combat, fishing, cooking, and hunter. So over... this way? Did something just fall from the sky? Did something just fall from the sky? Oh, it's right there! Yes! Am I the first person to find it? Yes! I just found the crash star before anyone else found it. I got a bonus mining XP for finding it. Huzzah! But we can't continue with that because that's not the job today. I would love to mine it out. Chat, do I have permission to mine out the star? It's a level 3 star, so it is going to take a chunk to mine, but it will give me a bunch of resources and cash that this account can really use. Do I have permission to mine the star, or do I go hunting? Miralabe has gifted a sub and then said yes. I'm going to take that as we're rolling onto mining. Hard roll it is. Hard roll it is. There we go. We are mining out the crash star. Here we go. This is a distraction and diversion. One that you can do pretty limited if you can find the stars, but you can only get the rewards. I think it's once per day. And it is an exceptionally AFK activity. You just find the star and then get to it. Are you carrying a pickaxe at all times? Yes. So those of you who played RuneScape yonks ago or only seen old school, they added in what is known as the tool belt many years ago. The tool belt carries a whole bunch of basic tools that you just use to literally do the skills. And that includes pickaxe and hatchet. I've obtained rune pickaxe and rune hatchet, put them on my tool belt. I've upgraded my rune pickaxe a few times myself because I have the skill to do so. So it allows me to carry around a much more advanced item than just a basic pickaxe. And yeah, it means you don't have to go to the bank and get the basic items and fill your inventory slots just to do an activity. It is so nice. Even down to things like doing a bit of smelting to make, say, rings. You don't have to go, oh shit, where did I put my ring mold? Do I even own a ring mold? You just have one. Is it supposed to be this long to mine the star? Yes. So this is a group activity. So if there's anyone else, members, who was on this world, because it's members, who wanted to come over here, so long as it is a size 3 star, so long as they have level 30 mining, they can mine it with me. Yeah, there's bunnies in the back. You can kill them. Sorry. Now, because this is a group activity and there's no players nearby, it's going to take a moment. We're going to have to mine down the health bar of this size 3, and then mine down the health bar of size 2, and then mine down the health bar of size 1, and then we can find out the wonderful jelly bean inside. And then we'll get back to catching birds. Or starting catching birds. But yes. This is brilliant for a couple reasons for us, though, to find this. One, that huge burst of mining XP just finding it is lovely. The first time I did this on this account, actually, I looked through the telescope over at Wizard's Tower, saw when a star was going to land, figured out where it was, got to the star, and on discovering the star, it said, oh, sorry, you don't have the mining level to mine this, but you do gain a bunch of XP for finding it first, so well done on that. By the way, you just leveled up in mining, and you now have the level to mine this star. Okay. It just worked out. So, yeah. It's like, alright then. And then mined out the star, and someone else joined me a little bit later on. I could go into a group chat that is all around hunting down these stars and mining them out. I feel like that would be kind of cheesing this, but at the same time I could do it, and there may be people who benefit from it. But they also are quite possibly mining another star at the moment. And that's assuming that group chat even still exists. I think it was Starfind FC. I think. FC standing for Friends Chat. But yeah, it's not going to take us that long to mine this out. We'll get the rewards for doing so. We'll get the XP, we'll get the runes, we'll get the spirits. We'll get the cash. The cash is a big one to this Iron Man account because at the moment I have 130,000 gold pieces. If we mine out this star, it's going to give us a whackload more, tens of thousands, which is a huge boost, I'll be quite honest, for these early days. But also, yes, if you're just mining, if you just want mining XP, this is so passive way to do it. Is the resources split between each person? No. Or rather, if you come too late and people are mining out quickly, then you may not get all of the stardust in time. Because I think it's max 200 you can gather per star. And I'm up to 104 already now. What? No, wait, no. Did they change that? No, they did change that. You gather stardust differently now. I think it's max 200 per day. But if that affects how much you get from the thing in the middle, I can't remember. Ooh, strange rock. You can get strange rocks from the start? I mean, that makes sense. Sweet. There are so many things distracting me right now. So, one, yes, you can crit on mining swings. The way that works is that you deal damage with your swings. It is based on your mining level and your pickaxe, and it rolls within a range. But if you crit, you deal more damage. You've done a better mining swing. When you do mining of standard ores, not only do you have normal mining and crit mining swings, you have a stamina bar, which allows you to choose to be fully active, mostly active, or fully AFK. We've now gone through a level of the start, it's down to a size 2. But also, rock opportunities will appear every few seconds. I think it's like every 20 or 30 seconds, where if you go over to it, you deal something like 5 or 6 times extra damage. So you get a huge amount of progress. But yeah. Strange rocks can come from an experienced source, relevant skills. Not all of them, Regulus. Not all of them, but most of them, yes. So this strange rock here is part of another distraction and diversion called the Statue of Damarok. The Statue of Damarok was a cursed mage who got obliterated into many pieces many ages ago and scattered around the world. So in terms for us, when you perform non-combat skills related to the Statue of Damarok, you might find a part of that statue. All of those parts come in pairs, so I've found one of the strange rocks of mining. I now have a reduced chance to find the next mining one, unless I go and do another skill and get a different rock first. Once I find both mining ones, I can take them over to the statue, where it's been built over in Varrock, put them on, and gain a bunch of mining XP. And the same is true for each of the skills relevant to the statue. Once you complete the statue, all the rocks are going to conveniently find themselves scattered throughout the world again. It does not go well for Damarok. Hello, Devario. Welcome on in. So yeah, we are currently doing a not member skill at the moment because this did drop down right in front of us pretty much. And Mirrorlame, who gifted the most recent sub, gave us permission to indeed mine the rock out instead, because I really want what's inside it. So we are going to mine it all the way out now. All the way! And yes, this is going to take a hot minute. Unless I get literally stream sniped, or just someone happens to come across it as well. Yeah, we're just mining this one out. Next, you can tell me we can evolve Clefairy over Strange Rock. I don't believe you can use these rocks to evolve critters, but you can do various things around here, yes. The XP dropped by 40 per swing with the level dropped? Yes. Lower level activities give you less XP. That is just the nature of the game, Queen. Hey, I've got the other strange rock for mining! Sweet, we can go turn that in once we're all done here. That is very nice. Also, considering this skill is at 250,000 XP, I'm honestly not too upset. The XP rates, it's my highest level skill by quite a bit. The next highest level is 55 in Constitution, which is 70,000 XP lower. If we have a look at my Hunter, it's currently at 438 XP. If I was gaining 32 XP per couple seconds in Hunter, that would be shooting up. Would stream sniping be encouraged or discouraged in this instance? Look, if someone wants to join in and mine this rock with me, go right ahead. I've got plenty of Stardust. If you want to speed this along, I won't stop you. I really won't stop you. You do, however, need to be, one, level 20 mining to mine this star, because it's a size 2 star. And two, you'll need to be a RuneScape member to access the world I'm on. That world is, I believe we're on world 88? Yes, world 88. We are just between Tavley and Berthorpe. We're just into Tavley, I think, here, technically. So yes, I'm doing nothing to hide my location today. Find my streamer is turned on. Now, also fun fact, whilst we're getting 32 XP per hit here, flat, if you... Yeah, I scored that one earlier. If you go mining normal rocks, so like you're mining iron ore, mithril ore, luminite, orichalcite, whichever thing you're mining, the amount of XP you gain is based on how hard you hit the rock. So when you roll those critical swings and you deal more damage, you actually gain more XP. If a rock opportunity pops up, which will give you 5 or 6, sometimes even 7 times damage, you smack that one, you get 5, 6, 7 times as much XP for that one swing. A huge burst. And if you get a rock opportunity, and you critical swing it at the same time, XP is yours. As well as massive amounts of progress towards whatever you're mining. It's brilliant. It's one of the reasons mining is such an easy one to get so much XP into these days, is because it's a semi-passive skill. If you do it fully AFK, you will get a fraction of the rate, like 15%. But if you're doing it semi-AFK, or semi-active I should say, you will get a decent amount of XP, a decent amount of material, it feeds straight into smithing, it's brilliant. Oh, always just trying to go. We're about to crack through the rock. There we go. We're down to size 1. Now it only takes level 10 mining to mine this star. And the XP has come down to 8 per swing. Oh no! But yeah, we're at the smallest size star now. This is the last layer to it. Once that green bar and yellow bar both deplete at the same time, we will have mined our entire way through this crashed star. It looks a bit weird, but that's because we've shaved off most of the outer layers now. We are nearly at the core of this thing. The jelly bean is just a moment away. Just drop fourfold. That's lower level activities for you. When you consider that the XP to level 10, my necromancy is level 10, it's 1,269. The XP to level 20, that's my archaeology, 4,470. So you can just see there, Queen, how you need a significant amount more XP. So you would hope the higher level activities would give you a significant amount more XP as well. XP kind of goes up on a nice curve, and XP required goes... It's a bit of a problem. Well, I say problem. It's a bit of a challenge. It's a bit of a grind, if you will. RuneScape, one of the OG grinds. Many a veteran RuneScape player understands truly that 92 is half of 99. True math. Alright, we're about a quarter of the way through size 1. We are getting there. Beat you to the joke? Yeah, we all know the joke. We all know them. You hate having to graph things in your brain? Okay, think about it this way, Queen. When small number gets bigger, the big number to get there gets much bigger. It's like, Queen, do you play Minecraft? Very simple question. Do you play Minecraft? Your brain understand? I can make your brain understand really well. So, Queen, we're going to make squares now. In your mind, not a graph, we're going to make squares. To make a size 1 square, you put down 1 block. Congrats, you have a square. It's a freaking block. It's a square. To get a size 2 square, you need 1 block, 2 block, 3 block, 4 block. Yeah? To get a size 3 square, 3 by 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. You can picture this increasing size because you've made houses, you've built floors and walls and roofs, and that's what skilling is in RuneScape. So now imagine a 99 square block. A chunk is 16 squares across. So 99 squares is 6 and a bit chunks. That gives you a concept as the amount of skilling. But as you get higher levels, you learn how to, instead of placing blocks, you learn how to pour water over lava to make a whole bunch of blocks happen at once. Things like that. Dr. asking, isn't it that the XP to get to the next level is double the last? XP to get to the next 7 levels is equal to the last all levels. So to get from 50 to 57 is equal to the XP from 1 to 50. To get from 57 to 64 is equal to the XP from 1 to 57. It just works that way. We're nearly there. 3/4 of the way through this layer. It's almost there. That's how the formula works. Surprisingly simple. Yeah. Am I serious? Dead serious. Yes, Queen. And the thing is that most skills stop at 99. But they can also go beyond there. 99 is 13 million XP. The XP cap is 200 million XP per skill. How does it work for levels 1 to 7? So at the really low levels, Brotheroni, the equation is different. But once you get into high skills, the curve is fully there. On my main account, I have 1 skill at level 120. I don't know how much that is in terms of experience, but you can look it up by looking at rune metrics and looking for the account, the Kengineer, because that is my main account. So if you did ever want to peek at both the stats of my main account, the Kengineer, or this account, the Kengineer, there's FE as in the symbol for iron, because Iron Man. The Kengineer and the Engineer will show you exactly where my accounts are at. They are. Oh, look at that bar. Look at that bar. It's so tiny. It's tiny. We're nearly there. We are nearly there. I have gained a lot of Stardust here. If someone had joined me from the start, they would have a couple hundred along with me. This thing is about to crack open. The bar is empty. There it is. There's the jelly bean. Hello, jelly bean, the star sprite. Thank you for helping me out of here. I have rewarded you by making it so you can mine extra ore for the next 15 minutes. Also, have 152 cosmic runes, 52 astral runes, 70 gold stone spirits, and 50,002 coins. Well, thank you, weird little jelly bean thing. We're not going to use the mining bonus. As much as it gives me a 25% chance of getting double ore, that's not what we're here for. The cosmic runes, big damn deal. The astral runes, big damn deal. The goldstone spirits, very useful. The way those work is that whenever I mine gold, whilst I have a stone spirit of the matching type, instead I will mine 2 gold, and one of the spirits is used up. So effectively that's just double gold mining for the next 70 gold. But the cash! From 130k to 180k, you see why I wanted that. Big damn deal. And a shitload of XP as well. Very nice. Now, we were hunting. Or rather, we were heading over to the hunting area. Let's go ahead and hunt. So the way this bit of hunter works is we are going to be setting up bird snares. If you set them up in anywhere in the world, they'll do nothing. You need to be where those particular creatures are at, and here they are. We're going to lay the bird snares, and then I'm going to stand away from them so as not to... I mean, I'm not really standing that far away from... You don't really need to.
Excellent taste.
You can set them up and catch stuff as it happens, and what is that? Miralabe, with the £4 tip, has decided we are no longer going to be training Hunter, which I suppose is for the best, because both of my traps just failed to catch anything. Alright, let's just... Nope. Take the bird snare. I didn't realise they changed the left click to reset. No, take it. There we are. Okay, bird snares reacquired. Let us roll out of here. Miralabe has decided we are not doing Hunter after all. We are doing something else. Fair enough. We are going to be training... Alright. Fucking alright. 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 I suppose I had the freedom to mine out the star. And mine it I did. And Andrew has decided we're going to roll a random skill, actually. Haha, Miralabe, you have been defeated. We are actually training... Necromancy. Okay. We are training Necromancy. Andrew, thank you very much for the 10,000 spanners there to counter the thanks from Miralabe's £4 tip. We are going to train Necromancy. Now, this is a very, very mild spoiler, but you find out at the start of the game, start of the quest for Necromancy, so I'm going to let you know. Necromancy in this game is not evil, unlike Miralabe. Necromancy in this game is actually good. It is good aligned, at least the way the player does it. However, we're not training Necromancy. Miralabe, thank you very much for the 300 bits. Let's try that again, shall we? We're actually training Divination. We are actually training Divination. So let's go ahead and drop off all these other bits and pieces. I am going to drop off these rocks first, and then we'll get to Divination. I don't actually need anything with me for divination purposes, so yeah. Let's drop off the rocks and divine. And I'm going to be a little bit lazy, spend some runes to teleport to get a little closer quicker. Just so we do this more quickly. Because I know Miralabe is itching to see divination in action. Let's head on over here. So this is a Varrock Museum, and over here is where we are very slowly building the statue of Damarok. Rocks added, 3,463 XP gained in mining. Beautiful! And Fartbox the Second, with perhaps the most RuneScape of RuneScape usernames I have seen in a hot minute. Very much a hot minute because we did also have Smelly Todger earlier. Fartbox the Second, thank you very much for subscribing at tier 1 up onto 3 months with a lovely silver badge. And Yep, that is the end of divination. That is the end of divination. Alright then. We are actually going to be training... Nope, can't have divination. Try again, wheel. We are actually going to be training thieving. Now, this is an evil skill, because we're thieving. Yep, there is no way to do that nicely. We are going to be stealing stuff. So, let us get ready to go steal. Alright then. So, my thieving level is currently 16, which does give me quite the latitude in who I can steal from at this early-ish level. Let us steal from... Steal cowbells from dairy cows? You know, I think I'm going to pass on that. Farmers. I could do the chest in Ardoon as well, but I'm going to go with farmers. Let us go pickpocket farmers. I believe there are some farmers we pickpocket very nicely over in Draenor Village. So, let's grab ourselves a teeny tiny little bit of food, because we may find ourselves taking a teeny tiny little bit of damage. We teleport on over to Draenor. There are thieving opportunities around here as well, but none of them are farmers. We need farmers. We're going to the farmers market. Now, you might be wondering, Ken, you're a low-level thief. What happens if it goes wrong? And the answer to that is, watch the damn stream. It's about to happen. You'll find out. Also, don't mind the crop circle there. It is real. There is, in fact, a crop circle there. Imps did it. That's just how it works. Time to rob the poor, honest working folk? Oh, come on. Could they really be that poor? Okay, we got a master farmer here. I distinctly remember there being a normal farmer here, right? Or am I misremembering? That's Martin, the master farmer, but... Huh, I thought it was a master farmer and a normal farmer. I am evidently incorrect. Not to worry, I have another teleport. Oh god, more implings. Let us teleport over to... Ardoon. We're going to the farm. To Granny Potterington's farm? I think it's Granny Potterington. Let us head on over to Granny's farm, where there's also going to be some farmers gathered. Like that one right there. Is this old school RuneScape? No, this is RuneScape 3. This is the graphically more visually appealing RuneScape. Far more, in my opinion. Alright then, you there, farmer who works at a farm near Granny. What have you got in your pockets? Money! Ow. He caught me. He punched me in the face. That's simply what goes wrong. You get stunned, you have to wait a moment. Bite! Thank you very much for the 100 bits there. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Did you just start a hype train? I think you just started a hype train with that bite. Thank you very much for that. So at this low level, the loot we get is also very low level. And that very low level loot is 9 gold pieces every time we successfully pickpocket them. And so I'm just going to repeatedly attempt to pickpocket them. We continuously pickpocket until they catch us, then it stuns us and we have to restart. The higher your thieving level, the longer it takes them to catch you. You'll notice they never actually call the guards. You can just resume pickpocketing. There are various theories as to how you can improve this by positioning and whatnot. I don't care for those theories. We just follow them along and rob them until they stop us. For a moment. Can you pickpocket the guards? Yes, you can. At higher levels. Not much higher, but higher than I currently have. How goes the grind? It's going well. We're on... How many times have we changed skill today? I've lost count. We are changing skills a few times. But that's all good. A little bit of variety is exactly one of the reasons I play a RuneScape. Also, this farm here, you might notice, is very unoccupied at the moment. Not a lot of things in those pens, just grass and rocks. Once you unlock these with suitable construction and farming levels that I currently do not have, Granny here will let you start to use the farming area to raise animals. So in addition to plant farming, there is animal farming here and at Anachronia, I believe it is. So here you can raise chinchompas, chickens, pigs, cows, sheep, dragons, living mushrooms. I've forgotten the name of them right now. Nope, the name won't come to me. What the hell is it? One of the most substantial differences between RS3 and old school RuneScape, that depends on who you ask as to what is considered the most substantial. In RuneScape 3, you have the visual difference, you have the combat is different. So in RS old school RuneScape, it is the very old version of combat, which is very much just based around click and wait for combat to happen. You just swing sword or cast spell or fire arrow in return to opponent doing whatever they do there. And otherwise it comes down to tick manipulation, eating food at the right time, praying at the right time. RuneScape 3 has abilities, which you can either use on automatic or manually cast, and that enables you to have far more input over how your combat goes. Also in RuneScape 3, there are some different skills that old school RuneScape doesn't have. Old school also has then some skills that RuneScape 3 doesn't have, because they've continued to update old school since they released it in a different direction. Now, if you ask an old school RuneScape player, they won't have mentioned any of these details first, maybe the combat. They would have mentioned the microtransactions. Old school RuneScape has basically no microtransactions available in it, whereas RuneScape 3, there's a lot more. And that is currently under review by the new CEO. They are looking into what they could do with this for the future of RuneScape 3, so we'll see how that changes over the coming months. But the point is that this game does have the ability to engage in a lot more microtransaction-y stuff. You don't have to, and in fact an Iron Man account like mine is barred from the vast majority of it. Completely barred. But even if you're not barred from it, you can just not use it. Some people complain about all the pop-ups that will come up about it. Yeah, they come up once per event, you close it and it's gone. A game advertises its events. Colour me surprised. So, personally for me, having looked at old school, and I played the actual old school back in the day, you know, I was there when it wasn't called old school, I was there when it was just called bloody RuneScape. Yeah. I will stick with my conveniences, with my options, with the sheer visual upgrade that is this. Seconds passing on that hype train. Yep. Looks like that hype train is, it's doing what it does. That's fine. To be quite honest with you, the microtransaction side of stuff is ignorable to me. You can't purchase upgrades in terms of things that just make you straight up better at the vast majority of activities. There are some things that do give you small bonuses, but when we consider that Warframe has literally double XP, literally double resources, literally double resource drops, which stacks with the double resources, literally double credits, you know what, I'm not that upset in the slightest. I am more upset with the so-called Squeal of Fortune that turned into Treasure Hunter, which is RNG based. That is loot boxes, don't approve. But then just don't buy loot boxes. It's not fucking rocket science, quite frankly. Especially when it's not a gacha game, you're not forced to engage with it. You can just ignore it entirely. God damn, I'm losing a few times in a row here. My hit points are getting low, but I'm not even slightly concerned about it. In fact, I remember now that I brought food and I don't need to. Because the game is also a little bit more forgiving on that side now. So yeah, have a look at RuneScape 3 versus Old School as you please. Do bear in mind that they are separate experiences. So if you level up on one account, you don't level up on the other one. And the other main thing of note, this is the last detail and is a meta detail, Old School RuneScape is vastly more popular. Asterisk. Old School RuneScape is just more popular, that is a guarantee. How much more popular is up for debate, as there is serious supposition that a large portion of old school RuneScape's player count is bots. There are bots in RuneScape 3 as well, but nowhere near as many by casual and general observation. So, in terms of actual player numbers, it's still definitely in favor of old school, but the ratio, I physically can't know. Paragon saying, stop playing Warframe because it felt like I needed to play meta to solo in-game content, or play with others who most likely already play meta. I mean, if you're talking endgame as in ETA, EDA, yeah, if you don't have something high tier to deal with high tier content, you are going to struggle, yes. But everything below that, everything on just every form of normal steel path, normal steel path, what a combination of words, but everything on basically hard mode star chart and all that's connected to it, you can use a vast array of equipment. Plenty fine. Plenty fine. You started playing in probably 2017? Holy shit, Paragon! I'm sorry. Okay, that deserves recognition as to just how much of a holy shit that is. You stopped playing before I started playing Warframe. And I've been a content creator covering Warframe for 5 years now. And a lot has changed during that time. A lot, including you have probably no idea what I mean by steel path. Hey, you got my other thieving rock. Nice. Can put those onto the statue of Amarok. So yeah, suffice to say, God knows what was endgame for you at that time in 2017 then. Unless you're counting just endurance missions, which have always been an outlier. They don't really count. The game has massively moved since then. Egg Drop the Clown! Saying good to be here and immediately 2035ing themselves. Alright then. Enjoy! Speaking of Warframe, someone gets 2035'd. You type it, Ellie? Beat you to it, didn't I? Beat you to it. Why does timeout delete messages though? Because it's supposed to be a moderation tool, not a haha go funny tool. So it assumes that we don't want the person. That's what Twitch assumes. Yeah, every time I successfully pick this guy's pocket, I gain 14-ish XP, and I gain 9 gold pieces. So I'm gaining more XP than I am gold. And considering my XP is a few thousand, I've not gained much gold here. But it's fine. You just do what you do to level up to get to the good stuff. I mean, considering that I used my level 58, now 59 mining on a star earlier, it's no surprise that gave me more value than a level 19 activity. This is in fact below 19. Yes, Ellie, there is a custom box. What were you trying to do? Oh, you were using the typed out command. Oh, yeah, no, I just click on the username and then go to the moderation panel for them. Yeah. Did I try out RuneScape Dragon Wilds, their survival game since playing RuneScape? Is that one that was from, oh god, from one of the founders, released temporarily, or rather put on a beta temporarily some months back? That one which had RuneScape dressing to it, but very, very different gameplay. Am I thinking of the right thing there, Miguel? Kind of early access now available on Steam. Am I on about the right game? Screw the access, am I on about the right game? Was who ate on that saying, visited a few times to Warframe, saw they had a Frost open world, did a few missions, learned to get a skateboard. Yep. Also played a bit of fleshy open world player, but they're more of a visit like an hour or two. I mean, fair enough. If you visited but not really seen much, then, well, you've not really seen much. Fair enough. With regards to Dragon Wilds, I watched a few streamers streaming it. That gave me a good indication as to what's going on with it. And I realized, oh wow, this is just... This looks more like Valheim with a RuneScape dressing rather than RuneScape with a Valheim dressing. And fun fact, I didn't find Valheim fun. Tried it for a bit with some friends, and it just wasn't there for me. That was not the game I was looking for. Which is fine, you know. People can have their own bits and pieces. That one was not for me. I have reached level 20 in thieving. I have now all the levels needed for hand in sand. I can pickpocket male ham followers. I can steal from a silk stall. I can plunder Zoga coffins at Jiggig. And potentially double loot from these farmers. If I have the agility, which I do. Lovely. It's all come together. You get a nice little animation when you get double thieving. Although I didn't get it there, so let's try again. That's a single. 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 Still single pick. Come on. I got quartz, that's 0. Ah, come on. My hit points are getting a little bit low. Single. Caught. It's fine. I'm only on a hardcore Iron Man account. It's fine. We can let my hit points drop down a bit. The amount of damage you take from failing thieving actually scales with your current hit points. So the lower my hit points go, then the better I am on that. Let's keep thinking you got money. The irony, considering that it's usually those with less money who see the ads. The only HP that matters is the last one? Very much so. Oh! Stop thieving! Stop thieving! Stop thieving! Stop thieving! Okay, I'll get stunned. Mirrorlave! Thank you very much for gifting a sub over to Paragon Chainmail, who will no longer have to see those horrible bank adverts they were talking about. Or at least not here. Thank you very much for the gifted sub there, Mirrorlave. Much appreciated on that. Let's walk on into the bank and watch what happens to my health bar on the left-hand side, just below my camera. It's currently at 1400 hit points. If I walk into a bank... Boop-dip, 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 boop-dip. And we're full again, 6000 hit points. Yep. Fully restored. So that is also quality of life added to RuneScape quite some time ago. If you're in a bank and not in combat, you heal. Doesn't restore your prayer, doesn't restore your summoning, just your hit points, but you fully heal. Because the game recognizes, look, you've made it to the bank and you're not in combat. You're good, you've done it, you've survived. So yeah. The power of finances, very much so. Look at your bank account usually has the opposite effect. Well, banks in RuneScape can't go negative. Sorry, Sprue, sorry. So, now it's time to spin the wheel. What has Mirrorlave decided we are doing next? Well, Mirrorlave's decided nothing other than we're going to spin. We are going to be doing... We really love the divination today, don't we? We really, really love the divination. Alright then. Div it is. There we are. Div and agility, yeah. An interesting combo. So let's drop off some bits and pieces. These thieving rocks, we can go turn those in real quickly, and then we'll get to divination. And again, there's nothing I need to carry with me for divination other than, well, myself. How much divination did we do? We actually did a fair amount. We gathered enough to go from level 10 to 13. Nearly 14. Now, I'm not going to use the runes this time. I'm going to show you the longer route to get to the church. There we go. It's going to land at the Varrock Lodestone, which is at the south end of Varrock City. Use a little mobility tool to just surge ahead. Just a little active thing you can do to move a little quicker. But it does have a cooldown. A cooldown you can reduce. Alright, Queen, you enjoy your lurk. You enjoy your lurking. Now, I don't need to turn these in right away. I could store them, I could put them in a bag, but I just want to pop them on right now. That's the end of our thieving, and has gained us a thieving
Excellent
level.
work, Tenno. This will help our cause.
Oh, hello.
Smile.
Alright then, so we were about to go off and do some divination. Mirror has decided, nope, that is not good enough. We can spin again. So, what are we spinning, Mirror? What are we doing? We're actually going to go do the Hunter. Which we attempted and then got very, very, very distracted. So, let us hunt. That is fine. At least you didn't let me get all the way to the divination area first. Bunnies? I don't have the level to hunt bunnies yet. I think. I'm going to check. Rabbit. Yeah, I think that means rabbits are at 24? No, rabbits near 27. There we go. So yeah, rabbits are level 27 to hunt. Why does Watching this stream make you want to install Warframe again? Because I am a creator who covers Warframe and teach you amazing things. And you can check out my YouTube channel for all manners of guides to bring you up to date on loads of options. There we are, that's my plug for the day. That is my plug. Okay, so we were going to go do Hunter. Let's grab my hunting materials, a couple bird's nests. That's all we need. Now let us teleport ourselves on over to Berthel, which is going to be the closest stone. Can you make clothes in RuneScape? You can make all kinds of stuff, including you can use a loom to make various armors. So you can weave cloth to make various mage armors. You can sew different types of leather to make ranged armors. There are also some more cosmetic-y items you can craft, but they are less common a focus, I think. Yeah. Oberon the healer frame. Oberon is a healer. Oberon's getting a rework soon, actually, because he's fallen far behind. I mean, he was never good, but he's fallen further behind. So, rework soon. But yeah, you can make a lot of stuff in this game, in RuneScape. Even as far as painting a shield in a heraldic colours, because why not have a herald? Why not? Alright, let's set up one snare, let's set up a second snare. Not sure if I'm in quite a good spot here, I'm actually quite close to the trees, but we'll set it up all the same. And give it a moment. We'll give it a moment. Let's just stretch, because, oh, gods, I need a stretch. Oh! Well, that bird did not fall for my trap. It's going to try the other one. And it didn't fall for that one either. Let's reset these. There we go. You'll probably be back to Warframe on the 10th, but first we Silk Song. Very understandable. Hey! That trap caught one. Look at that there. That bird hath been snared. It's hanging from the branch that we set up, the rock holding it in place. And there we go. By capturing that, let's just reset this on bird snare. We have picked up 10 red feathers, because it's a red bird, it's a crimson swift. Is it? Yep. We picked up some raw bird meat, and we picked up some bones. Now, if at any point you thought that we were going to do a catch and release program, you were very, very wrong. That is indeed the end of that bird's existence, but I'm sure a new one will spawn. So this is one of the more passive forms of hunter, and this is setting up these traps and waiting for the animal to fall for it. And indeed, it fell for it. Another one, here it comes. Oh, that one got away just in time. The reason I'm picking this one over, say, the Kebbit hunting, one, I prefer this over Kebbit, but two, more importantly, is the materials I get here are vastly more useful to me than what the Kebbits can give me. The raw bird meat is going to come in so handy for summoning at later levels, and the feathers are great for fletching. Bones, great for prayer. But the bones I can also get from Kebbits. Both of these traps failed. We reset, and we reset. My hunter level is pretty low at the moment, so evidently I'm not setting up very convincing traps. But that is fine. set them up, and we wait. There are things you can do to try and make the chances higher. I'm not sure if they still have smoking of traps or baiting of traps. It used to be a thing, but I don't actually care that much. We'll just set the traps and hope. It's good enough. You remember getting the augment for frost to turn your 4 into getting armor? That also got overhauled. It now gives you effectively a super layer of overshield. It's called Overguard. Whilst active, you and your allies, if they have any of it on them, not only is it an extra layer of hit points, it has a hit point gate, so that if you run out of Overguard, you can't take damage from any source for a very short amount of time. Stops you being one-shot. And whilst you have Overguard active, you are also completely status immune. 100%. Anything that would knock you down, anything that would burn you, anything that would use toxin procs on you, all of that lot, zero effect. So yeah, Frost is in a very good spot, and that's just that one augment. Frost is in a good spot at the moment. He's still a defense frame, sure, but by God does he do more than bubble and hit points. Oh yes. Tell me, Paragon, how does a 100% armor strip sound to you? On the same ability that is giving you that massive pool of hit points and status immunity. How does that sound for you? And if that's not good enough, how about a 200%, if I recall correctly, 200% critical chance bonus, like a 200% critical chance mod, on every single frozen enemy? How does that sound for you? We gained a hunter level, didn't unlock anything new. We're not going to unlock anything new until... Oh, level 7 gives us tracking of Felded Weasel. I suppose if we're still doing hunter net, we can mix it up. See how tracking of Felded Weasel goes. It'll be nice to go to the Felded Hills. Oh yes, and 200% crit damage as well. Thank you, Bite. Yeah, it's the crit chance and crit damage bonus. Yeah, Ductile, that EDA modifier is a bit of a pants one, isn't it? I mean, most of the EDA modifiers are designed to be pants, let's be real. And for those of you who don't speak British, pants is a bit bad. Right, from the Thievy, by the way, also unlocked the use of Black Ibis gear, if I find any, and a bit of Pyramid Plunder. Let's reset these snares. And reset this. How much has the tutorial changed in Warframe since 2016? It's been overhauled at least twice since then. Including, they added an alternate way to start the game, and then they removed that alternate start because they realized it was a bad one and they could do better. So, yeah. I'm going to be honest with you, Paragon. Basically, everything you remember from 2016 is either passingly relevant or just out of date. I'll be quite honest with you. We're talking about a live service, fully updated game nearly 10 years down the line from when you started. Of course things are different. You played the game when it was 3 years old. It's coming up onto its 13th birthday next. A lot's changed. Is there a modding tutorial rework cooking as well? Yes, there is a tutorial about modding coming soon. I forget exactly when, but soon. And that was actually developed out of house from Warframe that told us, or at least some part of it was developed out of house to ensure that they could get an experience which actually teaches it to new players rather than the difficulties of having a team that are intimately familiar with a game. Which, to some, it might sound like a damning indictment. They're like, oh, what? You can't make even a basic tutorial for your own game. It's like, well, when you're that advanced into it, when you've got an entire company of people who care enough about the game to know the game, it's no surprise that they know too much to understand the troubles that a complete newbie would have. So it's no surprise to me, when I really think about it, they had to outsource at least some part of that. Hey, there we go, level 7 Hunter. Wonderful! We can do the tracking of felled up weasels. Which, you know what? Yeah, sure. Let's pick up this. Nope, no. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. Dismantle it. There we go. Let's grab what we'll need for that. You still get to choose Magvolt Excalibur at the start? Yep, correct. Alright, you do not have a noose wand. Oh. I'm going to need to go find a noose wand. Alright. For now, let's head over to the bank, drop off these bits and pieces that I have captured from hunting, and go hunt something else. He's missed a new opening cinematic and reworked Vor's Prize. That he has, Brother Oni, yep. A complete overhaul of the start. Drop the feathers into my range and fletching tab. Now, given where I'm going to go, I'm going to wear a bit of armor. Just because I might run into difficulties. I'm going to wear ranged armor, because I don't believe I'm going to run into difficulties enough that I'd want heavy armor on. So let's grab ranged. Let's grab my Adam Tauros. I know I can use rune, don't have them, so these will do. Oh well. Would it be better to create a temporary new account to learn the new stuff? I think Vor's Prize is replayable. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm fairly... Actually, I can just wiki it. Let me wiki it for you. Vor's Prize. Control F, replay... Not replayable quests. Oh. Ha! Well, I was wrong, wasn't I? Wiki says that one's not replayable. Could have sworn. Oh yeah, good point, Bite. Yeah, something to point out. The actual wiki is an official wiki now, not a fandom one. So it's wiki.warframe.com. Now, just because it's official doesn't mean everything on there is correct, but it is officially hosted in that sense. You don't have to deal with fandom BS. And the wiki is 96, 97% accurate. Somewhere around there. If you haven't done the quest yet, you get to do it. Oh, fair enough then. Good to know. Is Limbo still a frame that's a toss-up if people know how to play it or not? That's never going to change. That is perpetual. Absolutely. Alright then. Let's teleport out of here. We're going to head on over to Yanil. Yanil. We have teleported quite a distance to get here. And this is very, very important because in here, I believe there is a hunting shop. So let's go here. We pop into this one. We speak to Alec. Wonderful! And yes, Alec has a noose wand. That's what I need. Cool. The rest of this is immaterial to me. Just the noose wand will do. That's a tool belt. It's already on my tool belt. Oh, shit. I didn't think they could go on the tool belt. Well, let's just drop that item. Never mind. Okay, so, world map. We're going to go down here. Now, there is a lodestone, but I think I need to complete a quest to activate that one. But, before I go sauntering over that way, I have something I can do to make this a little bit quicker. You see, I'm not just a pretty face. I know you may enjoy that, but I am more than just a pretty face. I do know a thing or two about how we can utilize the benefits of this game. And one of those benefits Do we have a furnace there? We don't have a furnace there. Okay. One of those benefits is that I have access to various magics and skills. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm realizing I might need to teleport somewhere else temporarily. Because there's not a furnace here, is there? No, there's a forge, but there's not a furnace. That's fine. Back to Berthorpe. This is still definitely faster than running it. Alright then, let's pop over here. We are going to smelt at the furnace. And we are going to smelt 1 emerald ring. Did you know you can turn off loading screens? I mean, it's loading, so what would I see if it's not loading screen? Don't know if that'll look better, really. Alright. Emerald ring, enchanted. It's now a ring of dueling, which if I rub, I can now teleport to the Warforge. And just like that, we're at the edge of the Felder Hills. Beautiful. Don't need to go wandering all the way down. We can just teleport there. Now, there are a bunch of monsters that I need to run through. A little bit of a gauntlet. Hopefully they're not aggressive. We're going to find out. So far, so good. And that brings us over into... There's the actual hunting area of the Felder Hills. Now, can we activate this lodestone? I don't think we can until we do the quest for this area. I am incorrect. We can activate it. Okay, fair enough then. Did that get changed as well? Like the Canifis one? There's a very possibility it did get changed. Alright then, so now we need to get to the actual Kebbit hunting. So which Kebbits was it I could do again? It is Felder Weasel, sorry. Not Kebbits, Felder Weasel. We navigate through this barbtailed Kebbits, blah 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 blah. Carnivorous Chinchompers, we've got the Rupiers, barbtailed Kebbits. Oh yeah. The Felder Weasel definitely lives in the Felder Hills. I just need to remember where. We've got some Crimson Swifts over here as well. So I could have been doing that over here the whole time. Didn't realise. It's easier access where it was. That's more bobtails. Hold on. I'm not going to look up guides. I am going to do this. They might be further north, but I feel like I shouldn't need to leave the jungle area. But it might be further north. Also tropical wagtails. Always cute to see. More chinchompers. Maybe it's up over this side. More tropical wagtails. Beasties. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely in the Felder Hills. I haven't mixed it up with Eagles Peak area. I'm definitely in the Felder Hills. Is it further north? I don't think it was any further north than this. No, that's ogres. And swamp toads. Should be good for Chompy, but I'm not here for big Chompy hunting. No, none of this looks correct. No. Damn, come on. Brain, kick in. I know I'm casting myself back years here. When's the last time I had to capture a fucking level 7 Kebbit? Weasel even, not Kebbits. None of it's Kebbits. I just sworn it was just over here and I don't see it. I could be blind. It is a jungle, so it's hard to see, but... Oh yeah, of course. I need to flush them out, don't I? If I'm flushing them out, then that'll be... why I can't see them. They're hidden. I need to search the bushes. I remember now. Oh my god, yeah. There we go. Sorry. Finally I remember. We inspect the burrow. We follow the trail. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's why you don't see them on the surface. They're hiding from being caught. They're prey animals. There we are. We follow the tracks. We're up over this way. Let's search this plant. Yep, somewhere over this way. Search this bush. Nothing. How about this one? Nothing. How about over here? Ah, yep, further this way. Let's search this plant. This one. The bush. Looks like there might be something inside the bush. Here it is. We attack it with our noose wand. And we got it. We have our raw beast meat, a felled up weasel fur, and some bones. Not actually from a weasel, but it is at least furry. I mean, they're called a weasel. I guess they are Kebbits after all. I'm not a biologist. So this is the process of capturing felled up weasels. We find the burrow. We look for tracks. We see if we can find further clues from the tracks. This one's a cheeky one, because they're always a little bit further than where they're at. Here we go, there it is. Need to try and figure out its route. Damn it. Not here. Did it go this way? What plant do you follow? Ah, here we go. It's gone off this. That is a cheeky route. Look at that. Yeah, it's gone up over this way. And then... is it in this bush? Nope. Keep searching. Let's keep searching. Where are you? Come on. Aha! It's over this way, which means it might be in this bush. Attack the bush. Found it. There we go. Now, I could just bury the bones. I don't think I have any use for the raw beast meat. I'll be quite honest. Sells for 3,500 coins to players. What is the use of raw beast meat? Is there a use that I care about? Raw beast meat. Dropped by some species of Kebbits. Caught with hunter skill. Not all drop it. Can be cooked. Can be used to make a divine Kebbit burrow, but I don't know that I care to make that. And it can be used for farming as a variety mush, or meaty mush. I suppose I am going to need that stuff for mush. Meaty mush I can get easily elsewhere. Nope, I'm not going to keep it. The raw Kebbit's meat, I don't need. Now, what about the felled up weasel fur? Felled up weasel fur. What is that good for? So this can be made into jungle camouflage gear. 2 of these and 20 coins to make one part of the 2-piece outfit. So you need 4 of them and 40 coins for the full set for better catch rates in the felled up hills. But this isn't a catch rate based thing, so it doesn't really matter that much. It will be better for farming the birds, and that's about it. So on that basis, I don't really need the furs either past the first 4 of them. So on that basis, yeah, I'm only going to keep 4 furs and the rest I'll drop. I will only want the bones thereafter. That is a long starting trail. What is that even doing? Okay, not that route. Search the bush. No. Search the plant. There it goes. It crosses over itself. Very unhelpful to me. It goes out this way. Is it in this bush? Nope. Let us continue the search. Oh, all the way over here. Let's inspect this bush. This plant. If I attack this bush. Still nothing. Let's just search, see if there's some tracks. Nothing. Where's it gone? Has it gone out this way? Ah, you little blighter. There you are. Got it. 48 XP. Another level gained. Boop. Simple as that. Okie dokie. Well, let's continue our hunt. I don't think this is better XP than catching the birds, I'll be quite honest. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong on that, actually. Because the birds are temperamental at landing. And this I can get better at, once I remember the roots. And the leaves and the branches and the trees. Okay. It's not in that bush already, surely not. I didn't want fever grass. Bite with the request for secret menu 2. There you go. Oh, it's that one. Oh, God. Where has this thing gone? Oh, there. Is it here? Where is this damnable bloody knot weasel? No. What is Octavia's best song? It is a composition of mine that I made on Octavia's Mandochord. It is Psychic Damage. In case you don't recognize that, delivers psychic damage to anyone who has a young child, or has dealt with young children for at least a small amount of time. Alright, let's see. Is it from here? Oh, God, where has this thing gone? Where is this route? We started all the way over there, all the way over here, and there's the bush. Noose the bush. Got it. Drop the mead, keep the rest. We now have some tracks to follow to the next one. Let's search the bush. There we go, we got our route. Let's search this one over here. Nailed it. It's all the way over this way. Let's search this particular... Actually, it could be in that bush. Oh, no. It's confirmed it's further this way. Further this way. Let's inspect you. Nope. You. Yes, Paragon. Slots are still a thing. And you either sell the weapons you don't want to make room for the new ones, or you can trade with players to get hold of the platinum to buy the slots, because trading is a thing you can do. It's just the way it goes. Let's have a scout around over this way. Alright. Nothing in that one. Let's scout this way. There we are, and it might be in this bush. Let's give it a try. Oh no. I found a boot. Let's drop the boot. Just like in Warframe when you're fishing, I just found an old boot whilst hunting. Where do all these boots come from? Well, fishing and hunting, I guess. Huzzah! Another successful capture. Drop the excess items. Inspect the next burrow. That is looping up all the way around there. We inspect that jungle plant. You see, in terms of hunting, this is a much more active variant, where we're constantly following the path and figure out the next step of where to go. Is it in here? Probably not. Yeah, no. Keep scouting. Oh, all the way over this way. Let's inspect this plant. Nope, I was wrong. Alright, this plant then. There it is, all the way up to here. Attack the bush. Nailed it. That brings us to level 9. We can now snare copper longtails. Where are copper longtails? Copper longtail wiki. In the Piscatoris hunter area. That's a little bit of a trek. A trek I'm willing to do, it's just... maybe I will regret saying that. Because I don't have access to much in the way of teleports. There's an option you can turn on when you hold shift and click on items, it drops them. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's not on by default. Hold on, let's have a look for that. That is very interesting. So gameplay, search, drop. Shift click to drop items. Hold shift and click items if they can be dropped. Sweet. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Oh, yes, happy with that. Right, let's pop us over to a bank, drop off what we've acquired so far, and then we can head on over to the Piscatoris area. Yeah, there are so many QL settings that have just been added over time. I'm not even going to know half of them, I swear. Oh, that's going to be so handy. Alright, drop off all those bits. Now, in terms of getting to the Piscatoris Hunter area, I know the ways to get there that are more advanced and better. I need to know the shit ways to get there. So, Western Tree Gnome Stronghold, but I don't have access to the Tree Gnome stuff. Eagle's Peak, not done that. Fairy Ring, not done that. Phoenix Lair, not done that. Spirit Kayat, not got that. Memory Strands, can I go there yet? Can I get there via Memory Strands? Teleport. And the moment I discover I can, Miralabe has other ideas. Alright, well at least now I know I can do that. So, I can indeed teleport here to hunt in Piscatoris nice and easily. In fact, I think the birds were just over in that direction. But we're not doing that anymore. Miralabe, thank you very much for the 300 bits. Much appreciated. And, yeah. That is the end of hunting. No more hunter for today. We are instead going to be doing... divination. There is a certain affinity you have here, Miralabe, for some items, and divination is one of them. Alright then, could be worse. Ah, itchy nose. I have to be careful not to hit the glass of my glasses, or I will just leave a horrible greasy mark on it, and then it's so much worse. Ah, life. Alright, so divination. We are going to go over to Falador. So let's again drop off my items. In fact, I think I can use the bank chest right here. Yes, I can. Oh, it's not just a deposit box. It's a full-on bank. Oh, damn. That's actually really handy. Huh. Alright. So, let us teleport to Falador. Also, someone just rocking with a very advanced cape there. Alright, lovely little... Is that a max cape? I think that's max, or it might be completion. I think it's max. But in any case, we're gone now. This stream was presented by ADHD Prime. I mean, a Prime sub will force me to go somewhere else again. So you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And isn't that the fun of gaming, is being able to just kind of bounce between the activities that take your whimsy? I'm being bounced around by all of y'all, but if you wanted to do this yourself, you can. You go, oh look, I can gather these. Oh look, an impling. I wonder if I can find more. Oh look, dwarves. Do they have loot? Why is that one a named dwarf? Lackey the delivery dwarf. Look into a quest. Blah 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 blah. What's down that cave? Turns out some games. Games in a game. Who'd have thunk it? There's another person with a fancy cape and a very fancy Blood Reaver companion with a cosmetic override of Artemis. Right then, yes. Hello, Apathy. Welcome on in. Have any tea left? Oh, I've got plenty of tea, thank God. Do you need to spend money to change your name on Warframe? Yes, it's, I believe, 200 platinum. You can trade for it, you can buy it. Either which way, it's 200 plat. An expense I was very happy to spend when I got into content creation, because I don't like being one of those who has an off-brand username on platforms. When I am acting in the scope of the Engineer, then unless I am prohibited for one reason or another from setting myself up as the Engineer, there's a battle pass? Yes, but no. Yes, in that it looks like a battle pass. No, in that it's only free. You literally can't pay for it. Not only that, but also all the weekly objectives. Once you complete your current week's ones, previous week objectives that you missed start backfilling in. Dailies don't come back, but the weeklies do. Ooh, a Chronicle! Been a while since we had one of those. Yoink! Lovely. Can use those later. So once again, for those of you who don't know, divination is a very passive skill. One of the most passive in the entire game, where we sit back, we relax, and we take in the energy of the land. Very literally, gathering this divine energy, this anima, these memories, bring it all back into the rift to heal the wounds of the land, and gain the ability to use divine energy in the process. There you are. You got 3 weapon slots and a Warframe slot from the mail? Nice! See? Already bits and pieces just waiting for you, Paragon. In fact, you probably got those from progress you'd made around the star chart, because the rewards for that have been updated. Alex confirming my suspicion right there. Also, level 14 on divination, unfortunately it's a gap, so nothing technically gained there, other than a faster rate of collecting the memories and energy. But at the next level, I do gain access to Port into Restoration 2, which is a thing, and Transmute Iron Ore. I can turn 5 copper or tin into 1 iron. Gotta say, not a great trade for me, but it exists. What world am I on? I'm on world 88, I think. I didn't think I changed. Yeah, 88. So yeah, if you want to come contemplate life and gather bits and pieces here, you're welcome to do so. It's an open game, it's an MMO after all. 12-year anniversary glyph. That is quite a while, isn't it? Yeah. Assuming you get it for 12 years rather than it's on the 12th year of Warframe. I just gained a Hunter level because capturing the Chronicle gives you a Hunter XP. But then can be later used for divination purposes. So, yay! Hunter level! I can now use Desert Devil Fur clothing. I can also capture Submastics in Daemonheim using a Seeping Elm Trap. Nice. Very nice. Oh, there you are then, Paragon. Doing that rare thing that a lot of Warframe players forget to do. You read. Reading works. Alright, let's turn in these, because I've got a full inventory. Okay, cheating stream invalid. If I happen to gain XP for something else along the way, that just happens byte. In fact, that was in the terms I posted on the Discord. Not with exactly those words, but it is there. So it's like with invention, I can't do it directly, but I can do the skills that lead to it. For construction, I need to get the logs, so I can chop down trees to get the logs. That sort of thing. Hello, Apathy! You've joined us there. Look at this. So Apathy has themselves a few more cosmetics than I do. They have a Ripper Demon, which has been cosmetically overridden as Yakaminu. And this is showing that they have 97 kills of a Yakamaru. And then what is the rest of all this? So we've got an augmented bow of the Last Guardian, but is overridden to look like a bone blowpipe. A Igneous Kalzuk, which is actually now showing their Master Completionist cape. Holy shit! That is not an easy cape to get. Alright then. The not so subtle flex right there. What is the rest of this then? Elite Dracolich Quaff, which is overridden to look like an Elite Serenic Mask. Augmented Elite Serenic Hauberk, but it's actually augmented Elite Dracolich. Cinderbane gloves with the override of Permafrost Night gloves, and so on and so forth. My word. My, oh my, oh my, oh my. Yeah, you've got yourself a few bits and pieces there, haven't you? All of part of the clan, Aussie mob. And, yeah. Pretty damn well equipped. Achievements, 2,512 out of 3,917. That's quite a few. All area tasks complete by the looks of it. Maxscape, Completionist Cape, Master Completionist, Master Max. Not the trimmed Completionist and Master Completionist, and not the Master Quest Cape, but I mean, honestly, who's judging on that? Whew. You've done a lot. You have done a lot.
Excellent work, Tenno. This will help our cause.
Smile.
Alright then. Suddenly, jump scare with Lotus celebrating the £4 tip from Miralabe. So we'll empty our inventory and do another spin, shall we? Let us do another spin. So, let's have a look at the time here. Ah, yes, interesting. So, we're going to need to update the spinner on this one. Gonna need to update this one. So, there we go. I think that's fair. Because we are at the end of the normal stream schedule, so it's end stream, end stream, end stream, end stream, or nah, continue on any skill. Yeah, it was going to go that way, wasn't it? It was going to go that way. How about putting agility as one? How about you go train agility to 99 yourself? Alright, but that is where we are going to wrap it up on that one. I do hope y'all have enjoyed this little foray into ADHD style training in RuneScape. Honestly, it's one of my preferred things to do is to just bounce around between bits and pieces. Sticking to one task for far too long, you'll get burned out. So do various different bits. Be distracted. Explore what the world of Gielinor hath to offer. It's always enjoyable for me. But that is definitely where we're going to wrap it up today. So thank you all for joining in. Especially thank you to those who have supported the channel throughout and giving all these random spins into random activities. I will see you for more Warframe on Sunday. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend and be your absolute best selves. Bye-bye.